Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar
Welcome to the party.
and Simon.
We did it. We did it.
What we do here is very simple. The three of us listen to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. This week, we're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. Kamar, new patrons.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. Join the Patreon. Hit the YouTube like and subscribe. Leave a comment.
Follow us on TikTok.
Start clipping it up. Get those clips out there. Tickle the algorithm, and or best yet, join the Patreon where we do the post show, the show after the show. This week, a big welcome to Can You Hear Me?
Can you hear me?
Boo, boo, boo.
Shout out to you.
Nomi Cha-Ching.
No, me.
Sorry, I'm confused. Is it Can You Hear Me or is it No Me Cha-Ching?
Nomi Cha-Ching.
No Me Cha-Ching.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I thought that was two separate people.
And a big welcome back to Patrick G.A. Murray, the legend. Happy birthday, belated.
Pat Murray.
P.
The man, the myth,
Murray.
the legend.
Thank you so much.
And a reminder that we're still at 2,989 more to go, and we will be free at last.
Don't even worry. Just tell a friend. That's all you got to do.
That's all you can do.
It's all you got to do. If you have any friends, tell them. If you're like most of us who don't have friends, then
And
just
listen,
tell a rando
let's
on
be
the
real.
street.
In a Trump economy, who can't afford $5 a month, right?
Yeah, listen, our guy is going to be writing checks. He's going to be levying tariffs. I foresee nothing but dollar
Yeah.
bills, y'all.
Yeah, we won't be able to afford it as Canadians, but you Americans, you guys.
Well, what's going to happen, Matt, Kamar and I were talking about it, is our guy Pierre Poilievre is going to get in.
Yeah.
And then our two guys are just going to be in like a love fest. Trump is probably going to he's going to be like, tariffs, not on my guy, you know?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
then we're all going to be laughing.
They're both going to be there in denim. Like, look at our denim. Look at our immigrant wives. Don't we have so much in common?
I think there's a
Does Trump wear denim?
Who cares? Yeah, why not? I'm sure he's been known to wear some denim.
Pierre Poilievre definitely wears denim.
Oh, for sure.
We found out that Joe wears faux denim, which he shouldn't be bragging about. Like, just let us all live in the illusion that you wear tight jeans. We don't need to know that you're wearing like Lululemon spandex pants that look like.
I imagine half the time Joe just gets a professional artist to like spray paint jeans on him, and he just doesn't tell anyone. His cock's out.
Well, Joe, I don't
He's
think
at
ever.
jujitsu with a sprayed on gi.
Joe
naked.
never really figured out the real freedom of Johnny Carson never wore pants.
Yeah, just
He was just free balling behind the desk
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
But Joe has this open table concept.
Yeah.
Had he just started with,
Would there be anything better than if Simon started wearing yoga pants, like Lululemons? He just felt more secure.
you think that's what's holding me back
I do,
from
yeah.
wearing
Yeah.
Lululemon pants?
Absolutely.
That is not.
Absolutely. In any event, I think we'll find a through line through all the discussions we discussed today.
A what?
A through line of that Trump got elected, and it's his to fuck up. Everything has gotten in the right place, and
Our guy just needs to follow through on what he said he was going to do.
there are metrics and sort of goalposts that have been set, and if they don't get achieved, he will be a failure. And
I feel like there's one for me, and it's simple. If RFK is still there a year from now,
a year from January 6th or whenever it is.
oh no,
when they
I'm
turn
not
over.
even going to give him a full year. I mean, he's got to be there by like a year from the election.
I mean, I would imagine, like Trump can't, I mean, theoretically, he can't run again. he probably wants to leave an amazing legacy behind. And why not just have guys that are good at their job in there to do the work, you know?
I think the most depressing
what we're
thing
hoping for.
is for the first time when them speaking about people in a cabinet, I know who they're talking about.
Yes, yeah.
When they,
that's crazy.
all these appointments, there's
Yeah.
all these people. This person is the justice of the thing or the thing or the thing.
Well, because
the
it's
thing.
usually the uncle of some dude you've never heard of before.
I suppose it's that, but I hope this is just a fluke moment that you're not getting enveloped into politics like sport or something.
Do you think that that's what turned the, like, is that what made our guy win? Is that
I know it made him
he
win.
had RFK, he had Tulsi, he had, who else was it? Alex Yang? Was he part of the whole thing? No.
No, I argue that it was always
Andrew Yang, sorry.
I actually read an article. I read two articles.
It was inevitable.
Had Kamala Harris spent nothing and just said, yeah, it's me or him, she would have got about the same votes. It was just a done deal. And the places, I guess, you know how we talk about the swing states? Those surprised.
What are you saying?
I read multiple articles this week that actually point to podcasts. They say podcasts 100% changed this election.
Well, that was going to be my conclusion to my point.
Oh, here we go.
We'll do that in the post show because that's really what I was saying. We're in a simulation that we.
And she just didn't do enough podcasts? Is that...
She A, didn't do enough, and B, they didn't resonate anywhere near as much. Like she didn't do the. I mean,
Right-wing
call her-
racist podcasts are far more popular than left-wing sensitive podcasts.
I hear you totally. Like it was pretty obvious that they thought it was going to be enough to just get the Hollywood machine to back her, and that would make all the difference, like it used to. You know what I mean? When that was the only way you could get entertainment. But I was saying to Kamar, like you knew for sure that Kamala had lost when you saw the Avengers on that group call begging people to go out and vote for her. And you're like, this is fucking insane.
I saw the best video yesterday of Cardi B talking to her phone. She's making a video and she's like, listen, y'all, whoever wins, whatever, I don't really give a shit. But she's like, y'all got to leave me the fuck alone.
Why? What did Cardi B do?
She was at Kamala Harris's like final rally being like, vote for Kamala. So I guess now all these people are on her Instagram being like,
But
Trump.
She did it. The teleprompter did not work. She ended up just stalling for too long a period of time, got out her phone and read what was supposed to be on the teleprompter in the most ingenuous
That's
way.
weird because Cardi B, she had that amazing quote, right?
yeah,
And that was more a sentiment of the right than the left, no?
it's true.
Yeah.
What is that?
What was the quote, Maddie?
I can't remember when she was just like,
It was incredible. She blew my mind.
what the fuck was it?
I don't remember.
You cannot remember what hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's more than 6 days ago, Kamar.
Yeah, it's outside of my memory sphere, as you
it's out
said.
Is that what he called it?
Can we go over the?
It's outside of the history mansion of my brain.
Can we go over the guests so we can start this thing?
I'd love to, brother Matt. Join the Patreon. This week we start off the week 223.
Try that
are you all right?
one more time.
22-23.
There you
Elon
go,
Musk.
baby.
This was on the
We
eve.
knew this was coming.
This was on the eve of the election.
Doc MAGA.
Then we had 22-24. Tim Dillon. This was during the election.
Yeah, during the election.
Then we had 22-25. Dave Smith. The day
victory lap.
after the election,
Yeah.
the beginning of the victory lap. And then 22-25. Theo Vaughn. Do you still like me, Joe?
Theo Vaughn, which was one of the most insane episodes I've ever heard.
Absolutely. I'm glad
It
you
is
felt that way.
crazy,
'cause, yeah,
but
I know
we'll
you
get-
have
we'll
lots-
get to it when we
lots
get
talk
to it.
about it.
Man, Theo really said the thing you're not supposed to say.
He said a bunch of them, but yeah, we'll get there.
Go ahead, Kamar. Start it off. Paolo.
Do you remember how we do this, buddy?
I'll give it a 4.
You give the week a 4. Oh, because your victory lap. I get
What
it.
are we going to do here? What else would you do when you do it?
No, this week gets a strong 2.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Our guy winning gets a 5, but I'm going to give this week a 3.
It's just an echo chamber at this point. And like, listen, I give
Yeah,
it
a good echo chamber.
Sure,
An echo chamber we all love.
Yeah, sure. I give it like
I mean, we're standing on the cliff shouting just to hear our voices.
Simon is 100% one of those like they're in the basement. Like 100%. Like just across the board. Yeah. There's 6 of them. You'll find them in the crawl space.
Who's gonna win? Who's projected to win the Super Bowl this year?
Right now, probably either Detroit or KC.
My Detroit Lions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought.
If we were little kids and we were listening to this, our Joe Rogan, the man we worshipped, just decided who was going to be president, like, which we couldn't imagine 5 years ago. Do you think Trump will ever be on there? Never be on there. Joe has no sway. Joe is bigger than, like, we should be celebratory.
Well, I can't believe how flippantly Joe just said, like, I wasn't going to vote for, sorry, this is jumping way ahead. I wasn't even going to vote for anybody, but then Dana begged me to. So, like, endorse Trump. Yeah. Sorry, not vote. But I'm
It's
sure
fun
he
that
voted
Joe
for
is
it,
now
too.
a nice housewife. Well, my husband said we got to vote Trump, so I voted Trump. He said, listen, he said that Trump is our guy, so I did
Dana
it.
asked me to. I get angry when he gambles because I think he's crazy.
I just think it's so funny that this episode dropped Monday, the day before the election. The Dave Smith episode dropped what day? Thursday, let's say?
Let's say what Thursday.
Sure, why not? Maybe it's Wednesday, who cares? But Monday is 2 guys sitting in this chair being like, they are definitively stealing elections from us, to Wednesday,
Well,
Joe being like, it works.
Yeah.
Democracy
Democracy
works.
works.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking, I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And Elon being like, I can promise you that if we don't win this one, if our guy doesn't win, it's the end of democracy. Like, dude, Elon.
That was some crazy fear mongering. Like that was pretty crazy. I mean, I'm glad he did it, but it was crazy.
It's nuts, dude. I can't,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it is. It
Chicken
is
Little
nuts.
level of fucking fear mongering. And for him to be like, they literally, this is what fucked me up. They sat there and were like, 100% they are sending migrants to swing states to win those. They said it like it was a foregone conclusion. Trump won all but one of those swing states. So
They were just covering their bases, Maddie. It's what we do.
the funniest was I saw so many videos of Canadian guys going down to California to vote for Trump without ID.
I tried. 22-23, Elon Musk.
Oh, you hadn't started
We
yet?
both sent in a couple of mail-in ballots.
Oh yeah,
So we're starting what? With who?
Elon.
Doc MAGA.
And yeah, it's all.
You guys have all seen that clip now, I hope,
Doc Mag.
where Trump calls him out. He jumps like he's never, like a human being who has never jumped before.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and then tells us that he's Doc. He says Gothic Doc MAGA. Because I guess the script is Gothic.
For you to be a #1 player at any video game, you have to put in so much time. Like, Joe made it seem like he's just a skilled video game player, and I was like, you think this guy sleeps on the factory floor? I was like, I got bad news for you. He's playing World of Warcraft like
We
non-fucking
know
stop.
that was all bullshit.
Diablo?
Like,
Whatever.
we all know that Elon Musk doesn't do anything. He's
number 4
not
in the
a
world.
fucking genius who's building rocket ships. He has companies who do those things.
Is there-
He's sitting at home
Could it
playing fucking video games and getting his dick fucking sucked by who God knows what indie rock star.
I feel like he's Joe's Sam Bankman-Fried.
You know,
Yes. And one at some point, well, it'll be 4 years before anything comes out in the wash now because he's like insulated, but
one thing Elon forgot to mention during this podcast that if Trump wins, his personal value would go to $300 billion. How do you like that,
yeah, he
Simon?
failed to mention that.
Yeah, what a fool he is, eh?
Oh, I don't think he's a fool at all, Kamar.
Good. Okay.
I 100% think he's like
Lex Luthor.
a business genius.
Okay, that's good.
I don't think he's a rocket genius.
Yeah, but let me point out to you,
Please.
we basically had 2 billionaires sit here and tell us, guys, this is the guy to vote for. He's the best for you, the little guy. This has been the problem with elections since I was born, is that it's always been billionaires telling us, hey, listen, put this guy in, and all this money is going to trickle down through you guys. Who's going to get rich off this? Joe Rogan, Dana White, Elon Musk?
I don't believe
Everybody who's chummy with our boy Trump.
I'm going to push back a bit here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's exactly what they're trying to say. I think they were really, first and foremost, saying if you do not vote for Trump, you will be voting for censorship and a stymie to freedom of speech. Because as they said, that him buying Twitter saved history.
Yeah,
Now,
we
that'll
all-
be debated by scholars.
Get the
till
fuck out of
end
here. I can't do this anymore.
But
Fucking
this was
insane.
suggested on this platform, so it's on the table.
Yeah, I'm willing to take to embrace Trump, but I will never embrace Elon.
You're not on X.
Nope.
What about the argument? Well, this is the thing, right?
Nor do I call it X.
The episode of Elon and Joe got more coverage than all the other news stations. Like, it's ugly now at this point. And add that to the point. I mean, at this point,
Can I ask you a question?
the reason why this is weird is because these guys definitely did not look at the book as you did. You know what I'm saying?
What book?
The tone of Joe and Elon's conversation was, yes, the race is as close as the mainstream media is saying. It's neck and neck here, it's neck and neck here, it's neck and neck here, where we now know definitively it was not. Whether elections work or not, because they're still now arguing about the Biden election.
Of course they are.
But despite being this far past and
Yeah.
now exclaiming, as you said, elections win. So that is a new conspiracy theory that will go to the end of time unless
I mean, listen, I'll give them credit, Kamar. If you do look at the numbers, it kind of stinks. But I haven't looked deep at the numbers. Like, let me give you an example. The numbers I saw yesterday show me that a lot of non-Trump people voted for Trump this time. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, that's all you want to say.
No. I just you were looking at me kind of through me, so I
They
wasn't.
weren't persuaded by the Avengers, is what you're saying.
No. What I'm saying is like people that might have. You know how we're like, are there actually moderates or people that are on the fence? I feel like there were a lot of people that, last time might have been like, I'll vote for Biden because Trump seems like not the greatest statesman. Whereas now they're like, I'm just going to vote for him because he only has one term left and it seems like it can't be that bad. Like, I feel like people actually voted for Trump that wouldn't have last time. And so a lot of votes went that
And what
way.
was the reason for that, do you figure? If you, not that you know, but
The
what do you
four
think?
the last 4 shit years, probably.
Was it just a lack of faith in Kamala, or was it just the notion that she was just going to continue what they had been doing for 4 years? Is that
Well, listen, let me tell you what really. Okay, first off, they clearly railroaded Bernie, and we'll go back to that. Remind me to go back to that. That's a big deal. Then, like you said, there's no real democratic process to get Kamala in.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's the choice of the Democrats. We're just like, you have this woman that has a shit track record who no one really likes.
Yeah. And Kamar made a really good point on the way over here. Like, nobody on that side is like, Kamala in 4 years, we're going to do they've already forgotten about
You know how
this
they
bitch,
say
know?
that the Republican Party, they're not Republicans anymore. That's Trump's party. She didn't have a moment or some sort of breakthrough like the Democrats are now the party of Kamala Harris and moving forward. She's like in the garbage or getting recycled now right now.
I mean, listen, even the people here who can't vote there, which is always funny, that were like rah Kamala. Like a lot of the people I asked, I was like, why would you vote for her? And they're like, she's a black woman. And I was like, okay, that's not how this works. You shouldn't dictate an election based on stuff like, well, I just want to vote for a black woman. Like Obama, when Obama became president, change. Like, I remember the fucking platform. It was change. He didn't change anything. Obviously, we know that now. But hope and change. Yeah, but you remember those platforms. Kamala, I can't remember anything like. She just kind of was like, I'm here.
Well, yeah.
Simon, do you think I made a good point
Yes. I don't know what it is,
piece of
but
shit.
yes, Kamar.
when I said that, especially in our sphere? Most Canadians would think they are Democrats. With a line. Out west, for sure.
No, I was going to say where we live. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
In our sphere.
Yeah.
In our sphere, even the media, there's sort of like whatever happens, we'd be with Democrats, and the Republicans are the Americans we don't like or don't get along with. Would be a common attitude. So when Trump won on our news, and around, people are really depressed. But I'm sure whoever is voted in sort of screws us, especially if you have a leader who's a moron.
Well, Kamar, I actually think.
sorry.
No, I apologize. I actually think this is an interesting one because I think, for once, liberals in Canada are sad that Trump's in for whatever reason, and I think conservatives might be concerned that Trump's in, not for his only because they know it'll hurt us financially. Conservatives are usually fiscal. Right, so I think a lot of Canadian conservatives right now are concerned that he's going to tariff the shit out of
I
us.
wasn't joking though when I said that I think that as soon as Polyev gets in, you'll see those tariffs be totally lifted. He just hates fucking Trudeau, and Trump is a vindictive guy.
You might- Simon.
and we'll do that. But we have an election in
Right after
a
he
year,
becomes, right
you know
after
what
he,
I mean?
right? No, it could be in the spring.
In the spring,
right
if you can
after
get
he,
rid of this
right after
Trump.
he becomes president.
No, I really think that's what will happen.
Simon.
Like it seems crazy, and you're like,
doesn't.
no, that's not possible.
I haven't said any. Simon, you might be bang on.
Trudeau will be ousted, and Trump will go on the next day and be like, "I told you I would remove the tariffs."
You could be. You're probably right.
Or not, or he just crushes our
not, or he
country
crushes
and
us, and
extorts
that would
us.
be terrible.
But he's our guy. And
But
that's
I
the
mean,
way
I
it
don't
goes
think that
down.
Trump is that type of dude, man.
Yeah, not
And
Trump.
I wouldn't have supported him if I thought that he was, you know?
I think
I wouldn't have been there all along.
Another nice surprise is they're predicting unrest, which there hasn't been as of yet, which everyone
because
commented.
Trump won.
Well, Trump won. It was if you think the liberals are going to unrest? They can't.
No, this whole podcast, hey guys, I'm talking to listeners, is going to bleed together because
Hey,
of the
Twitter
Tale of Two
universe.
Cities. But Dave Smith made an excellent point that the last time Trump became president, how short our memory is, there was people in the streets losing their mind just anywhere, just screaming, freaking out like this can't. Up until he even became president and past that, those people have been protesting on behalf of Gaza against Israel forces, and they're all exhausted.
Well, no, those
and it's
people-
it exposed the opposition to the conservative approach.
They still exist. They're still out there. It's called
They're
The
crying
View.
online. What are you talking about? They're just not out in the street doing it.
No, but they are a replenable resource because it's young people,
Replenable.
replenishable.
There you go.
They're a replenable.
They're a replenable group of people.
So cool thing.
Jesus.
They talked about Elon has SpaceX, which is classified as a weapons technology. They don't make bombs, but they make devices that could carry a bomb. So if you
Yes,
do
this
that,
is a big conflict of interest, is what you're
if
saying.
well, no. What I'm trying to say is, if you do that, you are now under a certain government class. Like anyone in America that makes projectiles or something is probably classified as a weapons.
Manufacturer, yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
classified a weapons technology. Yeah, and so this week we had I don't know if you know, but in Ottawa they had nation's capital, the aerospace engineering convention.
Conference?
Yes,
Thank you.
very much, And
Dude, what
my
is,
God, will you
what
get
is
through what
going
you're
on?
trying to
What is
say?
going on here?
no, one of the things that, in a roundabout way, they just talked about all those Boeing, Lockheed. Those are all weapons under the guise of the
Yes.
military complex.
Yes, agreed. Anybody who builds weapons is a weapons person.
And so that's why you can be aware of them. But they just mentioned that they are.
So you should be worried of Elon, is what you're saying.
Of course.
Well, Elon won't matter. Well, we don't matter.
Hold on. I love how he just did that. You see what he was like? He was like, Lockheed, all these guys are a problem. Then I said, Elon makes
No, I was
projectiles.
trying to interject. They were talking about, I just overheard them saying that they've developed where you can make titanium into a powder and use it in a 3D printer. This was, they were just talking about like that there's a big development for making parts for planes or whatever. Like it may make weapons go further, whether or not.
You know what's crazy is this weirdo right here, this like low level fucking dirtbag human. This guy somehow has inside trader information.
Yes,
And you know
yes,
what's crazy is like he's not even using it at all. Like this guy has insight into aerospace technology that he's overhearing while he's serving tea, and he's not even rich. Like he's not doing anything about it. It doesn't make any fucking Kamar, we should all be rich beyond our wildest
And
dreams.
we know it's your year, and you're just turning your nose up
what
at
is-
the way
but-
that fucking the universe is
but-
trying to make you rich.
But this may be a better tip. is I just overheard
My
while
dick.
while I was pouring coffee,
Yeah.
some guy saying he doesn't think there'd be any way supersonic flight will go anywhere unless the fuel is free. And that the price will not benefit people, that 2 hours or whatever it saves them to go from New York to London.
I guarantee you 3 years ago, this dipshit was sitting at some conference serving tea, and someone was like, dump your life savings
Right.
into
Into
NVIDIA,
Nvidia, yeah.
into NVIDIA. And he was probably sitting there just like, I wonder, do you think the Lions will be any good this season? Like,
At one point in the middle of this speech, there was a metal strip surrounded by two pieces, or no, just like a laminate strip by two pieces of carpet with a little bit of water. I slipped on it. A tiramisu flew out of my hand into the air and just landed like it sucked onto the floor.
Wow, great
And
story,
I did
man.
splits. That people were like, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I dropped off without dropping two other tiramisu, I might add. Dropped those off and came back and just the cup off the floor.
It really is your week, eh?
I'm not trying to brag, but yeah. So
this guy's hilarious.
like if we were to start making drones or something, the government would come and say we have to oversee what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not making drones. Don't fucking worry about it.
I'm sorry about that.
He's not making drones
No,
yet.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what the point of this even was. You're just telling us that Elon is a weapons manufacturer.
SpaceX catching the rocket, that could be fake.
Probably is fake. The same way everything else he does is fake.
I thought he was smart and an amazing businessman.
Can I
He
just
is
point
an amazing businessman. And you know what's the best way to do business, Kamar? Is to say you're launching a car into space, get all the publicity for it, and then not really do it. That sounds like a great way to do business. It's 100% profit.
Did you like the temperature? Of
I'm
my
always
hand?
cold. Yeah, you're very warm. I'm freezing.
I just want to hold you.
No, I just want to stop for a second. I just want to stop.
No, I want to get to the bottom of the
Okay, no,
demonetization
hold on,
of
though. This is
Sure, hold
important. This
on.
is important. Like, let's just take Joe for a second, who's supposed to be like Mr. Like anti-authority, like whatever. Think about the old Joe, okay? If a billionaire, let's use Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos comes along and buys the Washington Post. At no point does Joe say, this guy's saving free speech, or you know what I mean? When a billionaire
No,
buys,
you know what he would say?
this is a billionaire buying a media company
You
to
got
clean
it.
his own
like
fucking,
every other
of
billionaire
course.
has done for the history of billionaires.
The same
But
way.
why does he not just do it in real estate as Tim Dillon? The next episode we're going to discuss soon comes up.
Either way, my point is you won't let me finish. The point is like everything Elon does that would normally throw up a big red flag for Joe, like, oh, you got
Saying
rich,
this for
you got
years.
rich taking government money, and no one ever says anything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a weapons manufacturer technically, and again, you probably get money from the government. Like, Elon shouldn't be working with Trump because of
Who is supposed to be working?
You can't sit there and complain about how terrible the government is, how they're trampling all over your rights, and at the same time be working for the government and taking their money. That seems very hypocritical
No, it doesn't,
to me.
because every government
Shut
has
the
a
front door,
It's all
man.
different departments. You can excuse them the same way you excuse one government department for fucking up, and not saying the whole government is useless.
Hold on.
No, you
Just
know
hear me
who
out.
does?
Wait,
you know who
wait.
doesn't need
Wait,
to work
wait,
for
wait,
the
wait, stop.
government? Elon Musk.
No, listen, Kamar, when
He's
you
so
get
rich.
when you get mad at Nancy Pelosi for her clearly illegal insider trading, this is actually no different. This is a guy who stands to make billions of dollars from this guy being going out on into the public and saying, "Hey, trust me, this guy's going to save all of you." When in reality, he probably doesn't give a shit, and he might. Listen, I hope I'm wrong about Elon Musk. I keep
I
saying
hope
this.
you are too, sir.
Yeah, but I might not be,
Sir,
and we should all be.
I hope you are
Okay,
too.
Fine.
But the one place I will push back, when Joe won't ask him, what do you think about all the cars you build and all these technologies? And a lot of that comes from slaves in the Congo mining the minerals.
No, he's
for your
never going to
batteries.
throw. He's never going to throw shade at you. Go ahead.
Forget that even part of it. The slaves in the Congo, okay? Both Joe and Trump rail all the time against how the green initiative is bullshit and gas-powered car, and then this guy is the reason that all is going on. He popularized electric cars.
No, the market.
Everything you rail against, Justin Trudeau saying we're going to be gasless by 2030, that's directly because of Elon.
No, he understands the market. He understands the
Hey,
market.
Dude, am I right?
see the
There
dance
was
he's
no
doing?
market before Elon.
There was a demand
It
for
didn't
electric vehicles before Elon.
No. He was rich enough that he could float it. He pulled an
trying to save
an
the planet.
Amazon, Matt.
He's trying to save the planet.
He pulled an Amazon, Matt, where he told everybody, like, just bear with
Yeah,
me.
wait
You
enough
know what I mean?
time, yeah.
Wait 20 years and you're going to be fucking rich beyond your wildest dreams. Dude, this is so fucking obvious. It's so obvious.
who?
And Joe, to anybody with a fucking brain,
Or someone
Kamar,
who's wrong about everything constantly.
Matt.
And flips and flops. Like, at
Who,
what
me?
point? At what point?
you know what, Kamar? Just because you were right about fucking, I don't even know what you were right about.
I
You
don't
weren't really
either.
right about anything.
Okay.
So shut the fuck up. Okay?
But
Yeah, Kamar, shut the
you
fuck up.
guys you
Elon
guys-
Musk
no.
is a fucking Joe is a sycophant for Elon Musk.
True.
Elon Musk is what we in the business call a facade.
Successful. Yeah,
You know what? I'm. It is what it is.
I
man.
wonder if you were doing better if you look at them differently.
No, I wouldn't. It has nothing to do with how I'm doing. This to me is so blatantly obvious that I look at the people who I thought were intelligent who can't see this, and I'm like, how can you be so awake to this and so blind to that? Like, at least fucking Sam Tripoli, for all his mistakes, at least he won't just write a free ticket for Elon Musk.
I'd be
like,
interested
it's
to
fucking
see
ridiculous.
if Sam Tripoli had Elon on a show and behaved as
It is
such.
so
Then
god-
we'll see. Now, what are the consequences of Elon Musk proceeding, or what could happen? Why does he have to be stopped?
Because he's pushing us in all the wrong directions,
Mars.
Kamar. Well,
Space that doesn't
wasting
exist.
money on trying to get off the planet, where he should be spending his money trying to make the planet better for us. But instead of doing that, he's wasting his money on digging tunnels and making
But you
electric
also think
cars
he's not-
that are actually making the planet worse because they're raping and pillaging
And your argument is
the
he's
environment
using- he's
and
using your question?
using slave labor.
Government money to do these projects, not his money.
100%.
Not your money, but American government money.
Well, how about this? Just as an example, he said he was going to fix the water in Flint. Did he do that?
As of now, I
So that's a no.
don't know.
Who said that? Elon,
Musk.
or Trump?
So Elon Musk. So I'm just going to ask. So a guy who has 22 billion expendable dollars to buy a social media website where he has the most followers and the most engagement, he has enough to throw money away on that. He could clearly fix the water in Flint, could he not?
Yeah, of course. He could fix every problem he rails.
Why
against.
can he, but the government can't?
See, you're doing this whataboutism that you hated when we did this with Hillary. So I'm not doing the why can't the government? He said he was going to. He said he was going to build the Hyperloop. He says he's going to do all these things, is my point, Kamar. And he has all this money, and you're like, you think he's going to save us. He has the money.
No, I don't think I don't think we need saving. I just think he's the innovator of our time. Like I said a couple weeks ago, and you guys scoffed at me, like, you know, almost, and he may not be as smart as Einstein, like Musk.
I was the one that said it, and
Hold
I
on.
also
And
scoffed.
I attributed
Einstein
to
made
you.
an equation that changed the way we operate as human beings. What exactly has Elon done? Please enlighten me,
Flint
Kamar.
schools have clean water for the first time in years after $480,000 Elon Musk donation.
What-
That's on the Independent.
What
site.
has he done, Kamar?
What has he done bad?
No.
I think that's really, and there's the same thing as what.
Hold on, wait.
I've
That's a
given
weird
you
thing to do, though.
examples on what he's done bad.
Just wait. But you're doing a weird thing though. Like
I'm doing the normal thing.
if we lived in the middle of John D. Rockefeller, there would be people like you being like, "What's he doing that's so
This
bad?"
is exactly
I don't
right.
get it.
That's
I don't get
exactly
it.
right.
But then
Who's the
50.
president?
But then 50
He was
years.
the president at the time of John D. Rockefeller.
Why are you doing? Why are you trying to seem like you're this smart?
Hitler's giving his speech, and Kamar's turning to the guy in the audience, and it's like it's
making
not
a lot
so
of
bad,
sense.
right? This kind of makes
making
sense.
a lot of sense.
This Hitler
what,
is.
what is he actually? What has this guy
This
actually
Hitler
done
thing
that we
is-
hate so much?
The biggest thing, and it's another through line through all these episodes we listened to this week, is a discussion of calling people fascist and fascism.
You know, there's a camera there that you turn your back to all the time. You're wearing a hat
definition
covering
of
your face.
fascism has been changed. It used to mean when the government and the corporation work together to the detriment of the population.
Dude, it's so weird. Hold
That
on.
sounds
Hold
exactly
on.
like Elon.
Hold on. It's
No, that's what really. Yes, it does. It does. But Trump, does it sound like Trump?
You know, it's weird that you say that, Kamar.
Trump's the president.
The fascism was Twitter and the government working together until Elon saved history and bought it.
Well, actually, if you really want to, if you really want to have this argument, he'd have to buy all the social medias.
Well, he's joking around about selling, buying CNN. Do you know? I looked it up. How much do you think CNN is worth?
$50 million. No,
It's
it's probably $225
million.
$225 million.
17.
CNN.
Yeah, 17.
Well, it's worth
billion.
$12 billion.
Billion?
Yeah.
I actually didn't think it'd be worth.
I thought you were
$12 billion.
making some big point.
It owns some property in New York, Atlanta.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
All the inventory.
Okay, the inventory.
So Elon,
The news
Elon,
inventory mics.
Yeah.
Elon could get drunk and wake
Sitting
up.
on news stories out the yin yang.
Elon could get drunk and wake up owning CNN and not even feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he probably will.
And you think that's
know,
detriment.
Yes, you know what
After
that's
all
doing.
the misinformation that has proven him to be more honest and forthright,
Yo,
and a
what
better
hap-
arbiter than the
Sure,
truth
sure.
than the mainstream media.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do they demonstrate that? Every mainstream media repeats the same talking lines.
Kamar,
always.
you
At
know-
what point
you
do
know
we
what
say, wait a
also
second, give them
started
a
off-
chance?
This is crazy. Do you know what also started off as a really good thing, Kamar?
No.
CNN. It was
No,
ama-
it wasn't. It was
Yes.
a pest. It's been a pest the whole. It's
No.
cable. Cable was gross.
Kamar, I have news for you. You're not supposed to trust mainstream media or weird billionaires. Okay, you
100%
you
not.
a poor
The
person.
majority of our country
Yeah.
believes mainstream media. So I'm surrounded by zombies.
Do you-
That's my only pushback.
Do you trust?
Otherwise, I don't
do you
care about
trust
anything.
Mark
Wait a
Cuban?
minute. Wait a minute.
No.
Hold on.
Then you shouldn't trust Elon.
Did you ever see?
They're the same thing.
No. Did you ever see
Stop.
Mark?
Kamar, you-
Elon's never done a reality show. Did you see Mark Cuban's reality show?
Hold on, but Trump did a reality show.
Which was successful.
And
Mark
you don't
Cuban's
think
was not.
Elon's gonna do a reality show? You're fucking nuts.
Am I? I don't
Yeah.
think he will.
Trust me, that guy is a glory hound. He
How
is a
about this?
media
No,
whore.
he doesn't want. He
How
doesn't
about
want
this?
people seeing how he lives.
There's
his
no
life.
reason
No
for
way.
He
anyone.
controls it. It's not real life.
We got to
It
move
shows
forward.
him sleeping on
no
the
re-
factory floor, Matt. He'll
there's-
love it.
There's no reason
We have to move on.
to
Yes, gotcha.
listen to this episode. I don't, unless you listen to it Monday night,
Well,
because it's doom and gloom, and all the questions have been answered. He's going to be around. She can't shut Twitter down.
it's a doom and gloom episode, and it's hard to make out anything because they both have each other's dicks in their mouth. So it's just a lot of.
It reminds of us when we first started this podcast.
But you still have a dick in your mouth. Marble mouth over here.
Your own.
And I will be taken care of accordingly. I give it a 4. Like it's historical.
Yeah, like I said, I'm willing to get on board with our guy.
These guys
Trump,
were
but never with
were
Elon.
purporting to be scared or not concerned and saying this is really important, not knowing it was in the bag the whole time. A freaking landslide coming
Yeah.
down the way.
Which-
it's an Oscar performance. If they were really like, it's right on this, and it had been won. I'm
So
sure.
Joe could have kept riding the fence for the rest of time if he had wanted to, because it really didn't make a difference that he endorsed Trump. Right? Trump had already killed it. Like, that didn't turn the scales.
I don't know. I mean, listen, it was all very like Joe acts. It's very cute, you know, what Joe's doing.
Acting like he doesn't have sway.
Well, just you had him on. You had him on.
That's indisputable now.
You had him on 5 days before the election. You knew Kamala Harris wasn't going to come into your studio and onto your show. Like, it feels like this was
She could have gone down there and done.
She could have, yep.
Yeah, but
Just
we
like-
knew she wasn't going to. You knew that. I knew that.
Well, I only know that because she didn't. But I didn't know what the
There was nothing in it for her. She wasn't going to go on to a show and sway anybody. It was only going to be bad for her.
But she had the opportunity to.
Yeah, but she made the right choice not.
But if she was meant to be, she could have got on and captured something.
Yeah, maybe, but she couldn't.
She
have.
squandered a possible opportunity. Therefore, she was never worthy of it, as we say.
No, it's like, would Trump have gone back on The View now? No, he wouldn't have. It's not his
He'd go
crowd.
on The View in a second.
No, but that, I mean, you know, that's fucking Trump.
Anyways, rate it. And we'll move on.
Oh my god, I give it a 1.
Yeah, I can't give this. I have to give it a 0 because I feel like anybody would do themselves a grand favor by not polluting their earwaves with the. You're going to end up with the same thing RFK has, that brain worm. If you
The problem is
listen to
this.
redundant.
The problem is this, because Kamar's guy won, he can't step back and look at this objectively. If this was Mark Maron for Kamala Harris, and Kamala won, like this would have been the most disgusting, despicable podcast you could imagine. But because your guy won and they're pro-Trump, like you're like,
I think about that because this is Mark Maron interviewing Hunter Biden last year and sucking his dick. Which I think I asked you guys to listen to it, but it's the same exact same thing.
Yeah. Anyways,
I mean, did Hunter Biden say that if his dad didn't get reelected, it would be the end of democracy?
I don't know. They didn't even talk about politics. They
Oh,
just talked
well,
about
that's
it.
okay.
Well.
No, listen.
Maybe it was the end of democracy.
Elon and him on this episode, I think, just in closing, is the perfect example of exactly what Elon is. Him going out there and doing exactly that, Matt, the sky is falling, he's a salesman. He's a fucking you have to drive my electric cars because if we don't, the sun will explode. Like, it's the fucking guy from the monorail. I hate to harp on this.
He's the best. He's the best. He's the best at doing that, which resulted in $300 billion.
Sure. But is that those aren't the people I trust.
Who do you trust?
I don't trust the fucking slap chop guy.
You do trust
know?
Tim Dillon, though.
Kamar, I don't think you realize that.
No, I think Tim Dillon is doing a whole shtick too.
Kamar, it's too late. We don't want, just in closing, it's too late, but you don't want someone as rich as Elon Musk. You don't want, no one, this wasn't supposed to be this way.
Well,
guy wasn't supposed to be able to buy Twitter on his own.
Who knows what we're supposed to do?
And
maybe the micromanagement of our society, you're not supposed to do.
No,
I think
you're.
Sorry.
Well, look, the reason they wrote the Constitution, the reason they left was because they didn't like the king. And so the idea is if you have a billionaire, the second you have someone with Elon Musk type money, you've kind of created a king. You're gonna push back and say he's not king. He can't do. Trust me. We live in an oligarchy. The rich people control everything. Democracy is done, and Elon knows that.
That's the biggest facade is the media reports on Russia and its oligarchs, but they have the same, but they just don't report it.
The only thing Elon doesn't have is the power of the presidency, which he now does have. You know what I mean? He is all powerful. And it's hilarious to me that you're oh yeah, Elon will just go and buy CNN. That's not what we want, is some billionaire buying up all the fucking news networks. That sounds terrible.
At
that sounds
point,
like 1981
and
to
the
me.
lying and the misinformation, we don't even know what we want.
It's 1984.
I know we don't want that. So what did I say?
81.
Fool.
Let's also keep in mind that CNN was started by a billionaire.
Yeah. In your face. Great point, Matt. That's a huge point. Sorry,
The point
How is
is
that a point against
so
me?
we give a rag. So we get a rag to get a banana cream pie off his face.
Okay, let's go to Tim Dillon.
22-24, Tim Dillon.
Get a rag to get banana cream pie. Get a rag to get fucking Joe's cum off your face.
That's what I say if I was owned.
Is that like a slavery jab?
No.
Yes, it's a slavery
No,
jab.
it's just it was a jab. We're jabbing each other.
Like a vax jab.
Like a vax jab. You're back in the game. That's all it took, man. So Tim Dillon's back in town, and I think he's become successful, and he doesn't like the wealthy lifestyle and wealthy people any more than he didn't like the white trash that he was raised by.
So is this
Disgust.
Is this episode actually happening at
As
night?
it's happening,
At
we
night
have
then?
returns coming
Yeah.
in. It's a lot of conjecture, more so.
No,
than-
wait. No, you're right, because he says he's at the fucking green room.
So it's not.
No,
the
this
night.
is 2 a.m.
What?
Oh, so this is post green room.
This is that at night.
Are you sure? Or maybe they're
I'm
just
sure.
getting they're in Texas. Maybe they're getting New York numbers as they're
No,
doing
because
the
at one point in the
podcast.
episode, Jamie says he's California is only half reported, which would mean they're late because California's the last to report.
Interesting,
Right?
okay,
So Kamar's probably
okay.
right. It might have been.
Sorry,
is
Simon.
there
I'm
anything
correct.
he's not right about, Matt?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Life choices.
No, he's got you there.
Yeah, I know. Amazing. For a guy who can't get anything wrong, you've really got everything wrong.
In certain ways, yes.
No, you're forgetting that he only started being right recently. This is a
Correct.
new, like in the last couple years.
It's when he bought that Hotep Jesus book and we don't even realize it.
I feel like the DUI might have been a turning point.
So,
Like in an alternate universe, he died driving drunk that night, but in this universe, he lives and now he's right forever.
Interesting.
Like Detroit will go on to win 7 straight Super Bowls. Trump will somehow have 4 more terms and he'll turn everything around. Look, he's thinking about it now. Look, he's rubbing the table.
the biggest thing is the discussion about president, but if you look at who the president is right now as we speak, it doesn't matter. The variable, debatable vegetable right now is the president of the United States. Like I kept thinking, what if something in these next, say it's January, the first week of January, Trump becomes president. So between now, he's the incumbent or whatever. What if something really crazy happened, or is everything designed?
Right. Like why
Presidents don't matter.
why couldn't there be a nuclear scare right in the next 2 weeks?
Kamar, presidents don't matter.
There it is. But it's not. And then when they talk about Lindsey Graham is this crazy queen, but no one acknowledges it, and they're Republicans. You would say is the anti-LGBTQ RSTV community, correct? You got to get those minerals,
Gotta give those minerals to Russia.
and the only way it can happen is because Tim Dillon is a gay man who is doing the critique.
Okay.
No, it's dude. 2 comedians could sit there and say that. One of them doesn't have to be gay.
Yeah, people make gay voices all the time.
Joe, did you notice how Joe went from throwing Tony under the bus, like you should have never done it, to once Trump wins on the other side, we'll discuss. He was like, that's what you get. Tony's going to Tony.
I mean, Joe kind of took the sentiments right out of my mouth, which was, of course, Tony can do whatever the fuck he wants, but why?
Because I think it's like the reality is you see so much comedy, and you're going to scoff at me, but the reason why Joe's special was special is because all other specials are edited.
Like special needs, you mean? I get it.
You got me. But even the time between a laugh and a joke, they might shorten. So every once in a while in a live performance, something will just go that bad as it did or appeared to be. Only in that moment in the stadium. Obviously, it had no effect on the.
You could have put me in an
Election.
editing booth for a fucking month, and I couldn't have made that thing good.
No, you could see where that joke could work.
Never.
Nope.
I don't see it ever being funny.
Nope. I'm sorry.
I think it's a non sequitur, and you could be talking about pollution.
Are we talking Tony or Joe? Because Joe's whole special was garbage.
Tony's joke.
I mean, here's the thing.
That joke is not funny anywhere, anytime.
Yeah,
And that's coming from a person who loves comedy.
In
I would
right
never
context.
laugh at that. Never.
Yes.
Never. No.
It's a
No.
great misdirection.
Kamar,
It's a great
You think that's
misdirection.
a good joke? You're doing something
You
weird
talk about
here.
pollution. You're
you
talking about
seen his
pollution. You're talking about pollution.
Yeah.
And you say, there's a giant island of garbage
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Yeah.
And you're thinking of the giant island of garbage. And he
Okay.
goes, it's called Puerto Rico.
Not funny.
Hilarious.
Not funny because I think it's mean to Puerto Rico. Not funny because it's not a funny joke.
There's they just did a new landfill.
There's a giant pile
2
of
hour-
garbage. It's called Montreal. Oh,
Yes, exactly. There's a landfill 2 hours away. It's called Cornwall.
Shut the fuck up. That is such a corny joke. That is such a corny joke.
You're a master of humor, man. You should write these guys a letter.
Matt, support me here.
Support what? He's not a bra.
listen, Simon, this is what I explained to you when we were watching Joe's special, okay? You and I sat there.
Like ladies watched it together, sipping tea. Sorry, Matt. You and
Yeah,
your
you were by
husband.
yourself in your basement with your dick in your hand.
Agreed.
My point remains, Simon, like you and I sat there, we didn't
We had
laugh.
each other's dicks in our hand.
Yeah. This isn't funny at all. A lot of people really liked it.
No,
Yes.
a lot of sycophants had to say they liked it.
Okay.
Luckily, we're in a position where we can be more honest.
I think another problem with it was 2 years old.
Oh yeah, and it showed every minute
And
of 2
that
years.
set, like, in the next episode, I think Dave will mention when you did seeing him do that joke right when he got canceled. Or the day of or whatever.
Sure.
The ivermectin thing. And he did that night and saw it. To 2 years later,
Yeah.
there's no way that joke is going to hit or be as funny or as, like I tried to say,
Nobody
evergreen.
even remembers what COVID is.
Or what the feeling was like at the moment. Yeah. But in Tim Dillon's credit, he's just hilarious. Like he's the satirical guy of the now, I'd say.
Can I ask
And
you?
satire has to be more of a exaggeration of what's really going on.
Can I ask you a comedy question, Kamar?
I don't think I'd have an answer, but yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
you might.
no, he doesn't.
Far away.
Oh, no, he
doesn't
might.
get. He doesn't get it.
Okay.
Refer to Simon
And it
first.
totally fucking makes sense now. It all makes sense.
Well, Simon, you might be able to answer.
Yeah, I can answer it for you.
Okay, so like if you go see comedy in your town on like a Wednesday or a Thursday or whatever, versus like going like if you're like I flew to LA and I made a point of going to the Comedy Store, the vibe you go in with is vastly different, correct?
Correct.
Right? Like if you travel
It's more of an occasion for the one than I'm just in Ottawa checking it out.
like if you traveled to Austin and went to the mothership.
You're gonna laugh no matter what.
Right, like even if someone comes up and is sort of subpar, I think your energy and mood just in being in that atmosphere, and I think,
And with everybody else laughing like sycophants.
and I guess my question is like, is Joe maybe, or that whole scene maybe a victim to, like, you do your average comedy show, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way at all. What I mean is like you live a real comedy life where you deal with just people that are like out on a Wednesday seeing comedy, and you get a real feel for like, are my jokes working?
The majority, not the minority.
My concern is that Joe lives in this, again, I said echo
Well, they've
chamber.
made an echo chamber. That's exactly what that's what the mothership is.
So like my point is like where Chappelle will show up in buttfuck nowhere on a Tuesday to really test his set. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm planning to do an hour.
The gym is too nice that they're working out in.
Or the gym is filled with people clapping the whole time.
That's just, and telling you how big your muscles are when you didn't do all the reps you were supposed to
Well,
do.
I mean that's a valid question, and I mean Tim Dillon came into Joe's life. It's not like Tim Dillon came up.
I'm not talking about Tim Dillon.
Joe's. Well, that's who we're talking about. But
No, I know, but I'm talking about Joe. Sorry.
But
go
Joe
ahead.
made Tim Dillon.
You think so?
Oh yeah, we only know about Tim Dillon because of Joe.
I knew about Tim Dillon
Hold on.
before Joe, but
I don't like when we do that. I think that's really unfair to Tim Dillon. You could say that Joe like helped him.
Catapulted his career.
Sure, I think that's different than that's like taking away the
he-
10 years of hard work he put in.
I think he probably would have got there eventually.
Okay.
It just expedited the whole thing.
Sorry, I just feel like it's
Yeah.
disrespect. Like if
No,
Kamar,
I wasn't trying to be
if
disrespectful.
5 years
in
from
that
now
way.
Kamar made it big because of Joe, it would be disrespectful. You would take away the 15 years that Kamar had put in before that. I know that you'd be like it was in Ottawa.
even though I've only been comedy 1 year, really a savant. No, to answer your
I
question,
mean,
though.
oh, sorry, go ahead. A question we didn't ask.
No, he was a comedy question and he really fell flat. All those people
Yeah.
will have to eventually go on there and do their own thing. Like, I'd be interested to know how not even to say, they're not doing well or, wow, they're doing well. What, and this ties in because they're Kiltony alumni. Kim Comden,
Congdon,
Ali Makovsky,
McCoff.
Sarah Weincheck, they were all big Tiltonys. Jeremiah. Like, are all those people thriving just not on a level? Or is that the Joe universe such that you have to be within it? Because I know a lot of comedians that don't like it at all. They don't like Joe Rogan. They don't like all those comedians. Do you know what I mean? It isn't all love out there.
Well, it's definitely all love at the mothership.
And when David Lucas steps out into the real world, he finds a different reality. Now,
Yes.
whether you can foster your audience with your own locality on your YouTube channel will be seen. In 5 years from now, Hans Kim will be
Totally
on CNN
forgotten.
selling it or whatever. But I definitely think it's detrimental for development for it to be that great. But then, just like New York City, all those clubs are that great. They're always packed, but it's that hard to get in.
The most telling part of this episode, and I think it lays the groundwork for the rest of it, is right at the beginning where Joe says, "What are those sunglasses?" And he says, "Oh, these are Louis Vuitton." And Joe says, I'm going to get me a pair of those. You know what I mean? Those are like $25,000 sunglasses.
Not that much. They're probably
They're a
$2,500.
lot.
As I said on the forum, I don't think Tim likes being wealthy, though. He speaks with a certain disdain about wealthy people. Maybe it's sort of to keep the character going that he's the everyday.
I wonder what Tim Dillon is really like. I would love to know, because a lot of this is his
Character, yeah.
shtick. You know what I mean? I have no idea what Tim Dillon is like in real life,
Kamar,
because he's
there's-
never been on a podcast without playing his character.
There's no one on earth who doesn't like being wealthy. Shut the fuck up. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can be.
agreed.
There are
No,
people.
he doesn't want to give up wealth, but as he has a certain disdain for the people that now he goes to restaurants with and the things they do and what it means to be rich.
Yeah, see, that's.
And maybe he's doing that.
Hear me out though.
Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous attitude ever. There's nothing forcing you to go into the Louis Vuitton store to be around Louis Vuitton people.
No,
you could keep shopping at Walmart and be wealthy
And you can
be
eat,
around Walmart
you can
people.
eat the best food and never leave your house. You just have like chefs come to you if you're that rich.
No, but he talks about these people that the elites.
Yeah, it's the shtick, Kay. That's what I'm telling you. That's the shtick.
He is elite.
He is elite. He's not one of the people.
He actually does enjoy the
on, none
snooty
of-
restaurants and
Of course, dude. Are you kidding? Are you just coming to this realization right this now as we're talking?
No, I wonder if people, if they get into wealth later on in life, they have more perspective on it. than
Kamar, you got to realize.
they are successful when they're 20.
I think the advantage that a lot of these comedians have is that we, by and large, like our generation, still look at them as everyday people, and they're not. Like we still look at all these people as average Joes. Just they go do their sets. They make like $100,000 a year. They don't live like an above average means. They're just living a slightly better life than me. But they're comedians. That's just not true anymore. I mean, some of the touring comedians, I'm sure aren't like making millions of dollars a year. But all these guys in the Rogan sphere are so fucking rich. They're making so much bread. They're not us. They are not us.
Just to skip a little bit forward for 1 second, like Theo Vaughn, also very wealthy, but he's actually trapped in like this.
He's put himself there.
This
Well,
is
well,
what this
well,
is what
let's
I mean.
let's wrap up
I
Tim
don't.
Dillon and
I
we'll get
don't
to
feel
Theo
like
Vaughn.
Tim Dillon feels that same way, Kamar. I guess is my point. Where he's at home, like I feel like this phony.
No, I
this
agree-
is
I agree with
shit.
you.
He's just out there living his best life.
Well, the best part was when he talked about being on Joker 2. Like, I was on the worst movie of all time.
he
Like,
was in Joker too. No,
did
he
you
went to
listen this
see it.
No, he's in it.
No, he's not in it.
Yes, he's an orderly in the hospital. Simon, I'm so disappointed.
He is, for
Yes,
real?
Yes, Simon.
Did you know
I'm
that, Maddie?
so
Tim Dillon
disappointed.
was in the new Joker movie.
Yeah, he says it.
I'm so disappointed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Remember, he said he was like,
I
was
thought he was joking.
Tim Dillon said, I was on set and we all agreed this movie's going to stink.
Anyways, well, there you go. He was part of one of the worst movies in history. It's going to go down as the Ishtar of our generation. And if you don't know what Ishtar is, go look up the fucking box office return on that movie.
So once again, there's no reason to listen to this episode because there's so much about what if, a lot of discussion about what if he wins or she wins or he wins or they. It all comes out in the wash. Tim is really funny. He has a good delivery. Again,
it's great. I find him hilarious.
it's anticlimactic to listen to this episode.
His shtick is so funny.
Oh, the one thing was, did you not agree it was a good question that I proposed, Simon, when I said
This
one
guy is
thing
just stroking his own cock today.
one
What
thing
is
they
happening
never
here?
discuss is even ballpark how much Tony got paid, or did Tony do Madison Square Garden for free, and did Dana do it on the cuff?
No, Dana did it on the cuff for sure. Do you think Tony got paid for it? And if he did, how much?
I don't know if they can pay you for those things.
Oh, no, they can.
Are you sure?
They
I'm
can't
pretty sure
pay
they
for
can.
those things. Beyonce,
Yeah, they-
Cardi B, all the Kamala stuff, the
No,
$1 billion.
no. They
Why?
do that for free.
No, they do not.
Come
They
on.
do that for free because the liberal machine
No,
needs
no,
to keep
no,
on
no,
ticking.
No.
Okay. Anyways, I think they all do that for free, but that's just me.
I mean, my assumption.
You think they paid the X or the Avengers? They didn't pay the Avengers. Mark Ruffalo does that because he hates Trump so much. He's like Jimmy Kimmel.
he's like Jimmy Kimmel?
But the Dems have been exposed as just this like sad machine that lies and thinks has disdain for the intelligence of the people around them, not telling the truth, thinking it is.
Yes, I agree with that, Kamar.
And they have changed.
Well, you know what I was thinking of the other day is like, you know how people often say like, oh, Lincoln was a Republican. And if you go back, it's like they no, hear me out. It's because the party switched, right? I guess my question is like, when it switched, there must have been like a 5 to 10 year period that was like odd, right? Because it's not like one day they just said, hey gang, now the Republicans feel this way and the Democrat, you know what I mean? Like there had to have been like a 10 to 20 year swing.
Well, I imagine that they kind of gradually pushed over to the other side.
I understand. I think we're kind of in one of those right now. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Where
Yeah,
like
totally.
And again, you wouldn't have known it back then. Like it would have just you would have 10
The-
years later
the
you would have been like, oh,
liberals
fuck.
have become the war hawks. The liberals
This is
have been,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
no, interesting.
And we just could be in the middle of that. And where normally you're like, well, I'm a Democrat, but over the 10-year span, you're
Well, I
like,
imagine it actually takes more than 10 years. You know what I mean? It probably takes like 30 years, and it's probably been going on for that long. You just don't notice it until the last 10 years because that's when it actually starts to like
Sure.
pick up on
Yeah.
your radar. you
but
know?
even then, you could argue that back then it would have been 30 years. Now things move so fast that it could be
it's-
10
yeah,
years,
no,
right?
no,
Like with
yeah,
social media and
yeah,
everything. It's,
maybe.
Anyway, are we done? That's it. You
This
have no.
this
But-
wasn't a
but-
point that
but just-
Kamar brought up, so he just wasn't interested
No,
at all.
Doesn't have anything to
No,
add.
no. We had said something. I was looking it up. Sorry.
What did you look up? Come on, let's hear it.
I apologize.
What did you look up, Kay?
All the celebrities that endorsed Kamala Harris running up to the election, and I don't see how she's going to pay them all. Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Eminem, Cardi B, Bruce Springsteen,
No
Lady
way
Gaga,
she paid all these
You
people.
think that she
Megan Thee
paid
Stallion, Billie
Taylor
Eilish,
Swift?
Ann Phineas, Harrison
No
Ford,
way.
George Clooney, Oprah Winfrey,
No.
Jennifer Lopez,
Those-
Anne Hathaway,
those
Will
are-
Ferrell,
oh my
LeBron
God, this
James.
is so annoying. Those are righteous people who thought they were doing the right thing, and they did it for free. They did it out of the bottom of their heart because they thought they were doing the right thing. And you can't hold it against those people because they're just probably just as brainwashed as everybody else.
Well, keep in mind, if you're bigging up Joe for doing what he did for Trump, then those people are doing the
Doing
same
the
thing, just
thing.
on the other side.
And if they had won, you would be condemning them right now. It's really fucking like a hypocritical society we live in.
yeah.
And listen, like my guy's the biggest hypocrite of them all.
The problem is that no one can just get along anymore. Like that's the point I was making last week is like if
think
Mark
you're
Ruffalo,
correct.
if Mark Ruffalo and them came out and were like, we all support Harris, and then Harris loses, and they all go, okay, well, we hope Trump does well for the next 4 years. That's
play.
fucking,
Fair
that's
play
all
to
great.
them.
Yeah, same thing.
Fair play.
Same thing. If Kamala Harris wins and Joe comes on this week with Dave Smith and is like, you know what, I guess we just didn't have the numbers, and maybe
Yep.
people really don't like Trump. That would have been the best for
But
everyone.
Trump actually has made it easy for the naysayers to come across the aisle because he's filled his cabinet full of people who came from the otot side. Like, it
get
would
it.
be really easy for Jimmy Kimmel to say, now, you know what? I hate Trump, but I like Tulsi Gabbard. Gabbard. I like JFK RFK Jr. I hate Trump, but I think these people can do good for the country. But they're so fucking brainwashed they can't even do that.
You are correct. They do it voluntarily. So
I would like to
withdraw my.
so I was.
thesis.
Oh,
I
you
am
were so
correct
certain. No, it was
about
me actually.
everything.
and I feel no problem
No, it
admitting
was
I was
me.
wrong.
Okay, I was
You
the one
guys
that
are
said
right
it
all the
first.
time. I'm wrong. It's my
No.
guy.
Can I- wait,
I
wait.
support Trump. You guys didn't.
Oh, I
And here we
lost my
are.
good point. Shit.
No, we supported Trump and Matt did.
Joe has a friend, like most of us do, who owns an F1 track.
Hold on. You know, as far as the election being stolen, I do have to say this. I think the thing that stinks to me the most is that if you go and look when they were deciding who was going to run for the Democrats, the amount of money donated, like if you look at the map of money donated, most of the Democratic U.S. donated to Bernie Sanders. Beto O'Rourke had all of the donations, most of the donations in Texas. There was someone that had most of the donations in like Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Joe Biden's donations are from Delaware and Delaware only. And yet somehow he became the president.
Yeah, I like how you can argue with yourself about things.
Well, you're supposed to do that. That's how you become a fucking
no.
critical thinker.
I forgot to mention the crowning moment. I can't believe I robbed you of this in the Elon episode. Is when he tries to show off Grok.
Oh, thank you. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. How did I forget?
I don't
oh,
know.
my
I mean,
God.
When he tries
oh,
to
my
what?
God. Oh,
Well, you
fuck.
didn't even
Thank
watch.
you.
You didn't even watch.
Kamar, you know what? You are very balanced. Thank you. Thank you.
That is the reason to listen to the episode. It is
What are you talking about?
Dude, it's this is the
Simon, you
best.
gotta start listening.
This is
You
the
gotta
best
start
moment
listening.
in Joe Rogan fucking history. Elon is like, just so you guys know, on Twitter we have our own little AI called Grok. It's at the bottom here, and he's like, yeah, Grok is like super unwoke based, man, based like crazy. And Joe's like, oh really? He's like, yeah, ask him like do some crazy question. And so Joe's like, okay, Jamie, ask it to make
This is so funny.
Make like an unsavory joke about trans swimmers. Trans swimmers, Jamie. Make it about an unsavory joke about trans swimmers in the pool. Yeah, let's do this. Do that. Grok, pull it up. And then Grok makes a joke that is so fucking woke. It's like, imagine people like Joe Rogan caring who swims in the pool. And Elon's like, no, wait, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, prompt it again. Tell it to be vulgar.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, imagine those pieces of shit bigots that wouldn't. And Elon's like, okay, something's going wrong here.
He says his exact words were, I wish this had gone differently. I was really hoping this would have gone differently. And this is insane. I implore everybody to go watch an episode of Veep where they go visit the equivalent of Google. It is exactly this. The billionaire guy is trying to get the Swatch. It's a watch, whatever. It's like an iWatch to work, and he can't do it. Dude, it is so much like you know what this was again? This was a tiny version of them throwing the rocks at the truck window.
Yeah.
And then it shatters. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
You know what it made me think of too? For a second, it made me think, I was like, maybe the machines really look at us and are like, this gender thing is really holding them back.
You'd be not surprised if Elon stayed off the first passenger ship to Mars just to observe. And when it just turns into the sun.
That really was the most. That really was the most amazing moment, though. That was fucking incredible.
I can't believe I forgot. It was my one note because listening, I was like, I can't believe they left this in.
Yeah,
like I was
this
like,
was
I was like,
crazy.
when you have editing power, this is such a disaster that you would have to take this out.
Such a disaster. That shows you, though, at least Joe runs a real
Yeah.
operation. Because even Leon, even
No, that's his name from now on. Leon Musk.
dude. I bet you that's his
For
name.
sure, yeah. He got over here and was like, oh, Leon is like very
Hey, Elon, that showbiz baby.
Leon Musk. That's the black for I'm Leon Musk.
Leon Musk. Anyways, yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, that was so good.
You didn't even remember. Kamar, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Kamar, you're usually pretty useless, but thank you.
No, it's because I brought it up to him on Wednesday. He showed up to trivia, and I was like, I can't believe they left that in the fucking episode.
Yeah.
The funniest too, Kamar, is Simon. Simon came to trivia on Monday, and I said, of course we got Elon. And Simon looked at me and went, we don't get Monday episodes. What's going on here? And I said to him, Joe's got an election to win. And Simon was like, oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
that is the underlying through line subtext of this whole thing is Joe controls America.
Well, I had said to you, the reason we were joking about him paying people to vote, because he was paying people to vote. That I had already known about that.
He didn't ask about that either?
He was giving $1 million a day to people who would sign up and sign some petition in. Like, that was actually happening. Doc MAGA was actually doing a sweepstakes for $1 million a day. Like, dude, that's fucking nuts. So say what you want, I guess, about the Avengers uniting to try and get Kamala in. This guy was giving away $1 million a day. Notice how he gets really quiet when this comes up, eh? We should take a break.
Tim Dillon, British people have bad teeth because of the soft
Rate it.
food they eat. I'll give it 2.5.
What a closer. Oh, yeah, by the way, British people have bad teeth because of the soft food they ate.
I'll mimic that 2.5.
I mean, I like Tim. I like a good Tim Dillon rant. I guess I'll give it I'll give it a 3 even. Fuck it. Who cares? I mean, Kamar's right. There's no reason to go back and listen to this if you know who won the election. You're just
Yeah.
doing yourself like it's not.
And it wasn't much of like a night of election podcast, you know?
No. Like, I preferred it.
The end of the world.
Yeah, when it was Bill Burr going off on.
Well, he said they were planning on doing that and then didn't because of Tony, the whole Tony mess.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Kamar, did you rate it?
I give it a 2.5.
There we
We
go.
already rated it. 2.5.
Yeah, sorry.
3.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay a bill, and we will be right back.
And we're back. Thank you so much to all the Patreons. We appreciate you so much. And thank you, we assume, to BetterHelp.
Probably, yeah.
We also appreciate you too.
Always thank you to
and
BetterHelp.
all the help that you do for all our patrons out there and our non-patrons.
Yeah, of course. Everyone matters. Simon. Everyone
who's
matters. We're all
using
trying to.
BetterHelp.
We're all trying to
There
make
you
it.
go. And I would just like Kamar, I don't like when we fight. We've gotten Leon Musk out of the way. So let's just celebrate our guy getting into office, all right?
Leon Musk.
Leon Musk. No, that is so perfect because he's that's his facade,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have to make them think I'm some sort of genius. So I'm going to buy Tesla and I'm going to call myself, I'm just going to mix the letters up in my name and
Simon.
call myself Elon.
You know that scene in The Office when Dwight dresses up as the like Dutch Santa?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you remember where Oscar's reading out the description of the Santa, and then he's like, he also has a sidekick
sidekick,
named
yeah.
Black Peter.
Yeah.
And Dwight's like, I would never do that. And then you see him pull out his phone and he sends a text
To what's his name?
And then you
Yeah.
see Nate in blackface walking up and turn around. Dude, I feel like when Justin Trudeau got caught in the blackface thing, I guarantee you Elon Musk was putting on blackface paint like Leon Musk, here we come, and then was like, oh, this isn't gonna work anymore.
Oh my God.
Leon Musk.
That was perfect.
Go ahead, Kamar. Leon Musk.
Leon Musk.
22-25, Dave Smith in the house. I mean, if I could just talk like him,
You'd be rich.
It
would make sense what I
I've
said.
seen the clip going around of him schooling
Cuomo.
Cuomo, and it is so fucking good. Like, it's amazing. He destroys him, but at one point Cuomo tries to interrupt, and Dave Smith goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let me just get this out because this is ridiculous." And then goes on to just fucking destroy him. You know that thing that you've been taking?
do you know what that was like for me? I don't know. That's okay. But how much I despise Don Lemon and
Don Lemon.
Yeah, Don Lemon, yeah.
Yeah, and Cuomo.
Cuomo for years while we were doing this, and I'd come in here and like, Kamar, why do you watch it? Who cares? You know?
Yeah, why did you watch it? Who
The
cares?
only reason I
Only
even
game in
see
town.
this because it has to do with a comedian that we know. I'm not out there watching fucking CPAC looking for them to slip up.
You know what's
Humble
funny
brag.
about what's
Humble
funny about
brag.
Kamar too is on one hand he'll be like, no one's watching CNN, it's dead, it's shit. And then
watching.
on the other hand, not only is he watching, he's like, I'm surrounded by idiots that watch mainstream
This
media.
motherfucker, I pick him up and he's like, the CBC is doing this and the CBC is doing that, and I hate them so much. And I was watching them yesterday, and like, shut the fuck up.
Kamar, you're okay with me, buddy.
Then you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. That's what you did
We
with
can't
Trump.
be
That's
insulting
exact-
him.
Yes.
And then just switch it over.
That's exactly. What are you talking about? This is what you do.
So this is a victory lap. But it is interesting that you run for the job of president and only once you get it. Okay, what am I doing?
What do you mean?
Well, Trump said the first time around to Joe that, I got to hire these 1,000 people. And they do the stuff and the oversight.
Well, I think most people have a very good idea of what they're getting
they're adjacent
themselves
to it
into.
their whole
Because,
career.
yes. And Trump, who decided on a lark because he was trying to get paid more on The Apprentice, like, yeah, no, he probably didn't have a clue what was going on.
One of the big things right off the bat Dave was concerned about is if Trump were to get back into office and appoint Mike Pompeo in any position
Yes.
of and the news has already
Yeah,
reported that
Dave
he will
didn't-
not be considered. So that's a plus.
That's good.
Really, what Dave came down to is a 3-pronged strategy here. He said control the border, end the wars, stimulate the economy. If he can do that in the next 4 years, on top of that, for Dave's personal wish list was Snowden and Ross Albright.
Snowden seems like an obvious one.
These are things holding Trump to account, and that's really what I've been trying to say as a through line.
Well, why wouldn't he have done it in his first term in office then?
Because he was fighting getting impeached, the Russian scandal, then he had to handle COVID. Or not handle. These are distractions to getting anything done.
I mean, Kamar, you could argue that in his last days, if he really is like, that's when they pardon everyone, especially if you don't think you're coming back.
What's the left's play now, Kay?
What's the left's play now?
Yeah.
Reinvent itself.
No, like, last time he won and they claimed Russiagate, whatever. What are they going to do this time?
I honestly feel like
how are they going to discredit him?
the apparent
Or try.
dejection by the media, because, as they said in this episode, they've cried wolf too many times. They've got nothing.
You think they're going to crumble? You don't think
I don't-
they're going to regroup and come out strong?
I don't think they are going to crumble. I could see them being critical, but it just will not be the shitstorm that it was. Dave submitted that if he wins, him winning is the end of mainstream media, because just like you said, these people who said Joe Biden was sharp as a tack, this race is neck and neck. It's more important to defend Iran, Ukraine's democracy, to save democracy here. No primary, because we've got to rush our way to be democratic. All these things, they've got nothing left. Their capital of credibility is spent or bankrupt. Now, it remains to be seen. As I said, in 4 years, we can say Trump failed. Everything he said was wrong. What the left will do, or I've heard, is that they were not able, or she was not able to communicate how the economy was on the mend. They weren't able to communicate that. And Trump is going to inherit, as we've talked before, the policy from someone here only sort of gets up and running 3 years after it's implemented or whatever, because change doesn't happen. So he'll take credit for that, and any successes he has will be by something Joe Biden did. Kamala's advice. No, she's out.
Well, that's a lot of words. You know what I think the left's play is now?
Oh, you see what he did? He asked you because he wanted to say
No.
his.
I just thought of this as he was
Let's hear it.
droning on and on and on. I think that their play now is they need a superstar to run for president. They can't have just superstars endorsing some dumb plug.
So like The Rock.
They need, or Taylor Swift, or
Swift.
No. But I'm just saying
She'd win
they
in a
need to
landslide.
tap into the same way Trump tapped into the Nelk Boys and to Joe Rogan. They need somebody on that side, because listen, podcasts are huge. Joe Rogan's huge. You know who's also huge? Fucking liberal fucking cucks on the other side who are running podcasts. Like, who's the guy who owns the burger chain there who hurt the guy with the crane?
Who's the guy who owns the burger chain that hurt the
That's-
guy with the crane?
Yeah, one of his friends, he was spinning around and he hurt them.
David Dobrik and Jeff
Thank-
Ward.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you pretended like you didn't know.
No.
David Dobrik, like they,
Yeah.
he has a fucking ton of followers. I'm sure he's a liberal guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Yeah, go ahead, come on.
Sometimes you ask a question just to answer it. I thought that was one of those times. So even though I knew the answer, I didn't want to jump on you.
Thank you. That's why you raised your hand.
Yeah.
Correct.
Amazing.
Asked and
I
answered.
love how this is going. Yeah. I was saying outside, and I think it warrants saying now.
Yeah.
Just to harp back on the Elon Musk episode.
Yeah.
It's in his best interest to be a Trump guy now, because his whole money train depends on the government continuing to support his numerous operations. with
Feels like a
them.
lot of people did that,
From
like Mark
t-
Zuckerberg
from
and
tunnel-
Jeff Bezos.
From tunnel digging to rocket
Tunnel
building.
digging.
Anyways, go on with your new talking
From
points.
tunnel digging to rocket building.
That's right, Kamar.
It sounds like a 6-year-old.
Well, that's what he's doing. He also built a flamethrower for his
Super cool.
cool company.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
The one
company.
now,
Awesome.
there's a thorough line between Theo and Dave Smith as we
It's a
come on
through
the back
line,
end.
right? A through line.
The thorough line.
It's a thorough line.
He's saying it the way it's spelled.
They sort of discuss the FBI always gets his man because it's their
Always
man.
there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great thing about the entrapment.
It's a great quote.
And how the justice system has been used. It would appear against Trump. All that's out the window.
How did this come back to Trump? Okay, go on.
Well, that's all they talked about
Yeah.
this week. So, in,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Kamar's defense, what are we doing
He's
here?
lost. Thank you for the defense. Do you think Trump should try to get heads rolling, or as Joe said, he should just stop right here? You guys talk your shit. We're going to implement our plans and make. Do you understand? No witch hunts.
The only if Trump wants to enact real change, he has to drain what's left of the swamp. He can't put in all these guys, RFK, Leon, this guy, that guy, and then leave the head of the FBI to plot against him behind the scene. That wouldn't make any sense. Don't you think?
That sounds like a tactic to
If he
accomplish
wants to
that
enact
strategy.
real change, he has to get rid of those guys who are there to just status quo this thing to death.
I don't think you listen to my question. Like all the people on the other side, should he go after them? You're saying
I
draining the
see.
swamp is one thing.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
Should
no.
he prosecute his enemies or whatever? He shouldn't.
I mean,
He should be vindictive.
if they
then.
were breaking the law, he should hold them accountable. If Nancy Pelosi is breaking the law, hold her accountable. Oh, okay.
Well, no, I
don't know.
thought.
What do you
I thought-
want from me?
What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I don't know. At this point, I think he should just be the bigger man and just move forward. If you really care about
This is the
America,
thing. This is
then
the
the last thing you should do is concentrate on that shit.
Well, did you see that he did this huge speech, and I don't know if it was AI or not.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 10-minute speech where he comes out and
Who,
he
Trump
says,
did?
yeah,
No.
there's
No, he did
a
not do
group,
10-minute speeches.
a group of people out there in the media who are running a clandestine operation to destroy. You didn't see this?
No, I have a feeling it was probably AI.
Okay. Anyways,
Do you
didn't
guys
see this either? You don't know what I'm talking
He doesn't
about?
do 10-minute speeches. So
Why are you saying
It's a
it-
clip.
It's a clip of a speech. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's different. You said a 10-minute speech, and that's why I said that's not possible. He doesn't do 10-minute speeches.
Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't.
I see where this is going.
Oh no, you didn't.
So, do you agree that
Yes.
Trump saying very fine people has been mischaracterized?
Yes.
Because that was the thing they kept harping
Repeat
on.
that for me. Very fine people.
Trump said very fine people on both sides, and the news took it and said he was talking about white supremacists are very fine people, where he clearly said, no, there are shitty people there, but there's other people there that are fine people on both sides.
Yeah.
And that is used as a lie.
Yeah. These are the people in the media he was talking about.
Or President Obama. Or I bet you CBC says he says that. You can get that up here even, this north. But you agree that is a lie. Not true.
You could even get that up here, this north, way up here.
Up here, way up here, bud.
This is so fucking weird what you're doing here.
Well, no,
Isn't it?
I think it's a historical fact that did Trump say this or say that?
No, but are you just going to name us a bunch of things that Trump has done and then to categorically prove that he's right? Like, what's going on here?
No, just things that it'd be more. They get into it with, say, the pandemic or stuff, or truths or things that people believe right now that you're walking on the street that are different than what you believe, and one could objectively argue which one is more reality.
Okay.
Okay. But so they've tried to impeach him.
Yep.
They've tried to stick him with Russia and Putin.
Yep.
They've tried to shoot him.
Yep.
They've tried to put him in jail.
Yep.
Let him cook.
Let him go.
Is it not time?
Well, do they have any choice?
They do not. But
He's the cook.
He's in the
now.
kitchen.
this
Yeah.
then this
He's the
then,
chef.
This then
Yes, chef.
What is the left's play now? Let him cook.
Again, they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
They can throw whatever they want out at him, and it won't make a fucking difference.
Kamar's doing his victory lap now. That's
Yeah,
what he's doing.
we're-
Look, he's got
we're
his
all-
chest puffed out. He's like,
we're all
what does the
doing
left do now, huh? What do you guys
all doing
do? What do you got now, huh? Who are you going to send up against him now?
We're speaking of how did Trump come from the business world and just
Baron 6'9".
own all these politicians and win the primary that the Democrats decide not to do? Like, people thought Trump going to this is going to just go into the
What are you gonna do?
meat grinder.
He takes his shirt off.
The meat grinder.
Trump painted on his chest.
He's into the meat grinder.
He's got a
Who is
tattoo.
into the meat grinder?
Trump, when he thinks he's going to run for president and he's going to go up in the Republican primary against Lindsey
We
Graham,
threw you
Marco
in the
Rubio,
meat grinder.
These guys are going to have their way with him.
24-inch pythons.
And literally like a movie. He
What
walked
you gonna
in.
do?
He walked in, and then all the ninjas are like broken up, and he walks out like because at one point
He's not fucking Chuck Norris.
he
Yes,
did
he is.
he did Chuck Norris the Republican
Dude,
Party.
you could do Trump jokes like the Chuck Norris jokes, you know?
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said Lindsey Graham used to ask me for money. Here's his phone number. Just post up.
Dude, that is hilarious.
It's incredible.
That is hilarious.
Some states have no tax. Some states do have tax.
Thank you, Dr. Science.
Okay, but what they do? Like, how does the state with no tax do it? How does the state with tax?
A lot of the states with no taxes are really poor, and some of them pull it off via like Florida doesn't have
And
high,
they still have taxes. They're just not high taxes.
But it's an interesting question, right? That means there's two philosophies as far as they talked a lot about. We don't have to get into this abortion, but each state is doing business a different way.
Yeah.
There's no uniformity, and there's sort of
And that's why you have
patchwork.
really rich states and really poor states and really prosperous states and really non-prosperous states.
But I didn't have time to do research about other states. Like Texas has a low state tax.
And yet they seem to be killing it.
Does state tax and climate have an issue? And not climate change, but there's a lot more upkeep.
Yeah, most of your money is going for snow removal,
But
period.
the state of Florida needs help when there's a hurricane. I'm not sure. Like,
I'm just joking. Yeah, I don't know how. That is a good point, though. How do the states that don't have these massive taxations get anything done?
do they have resources? And the same thing holds here. There's provincial tax and federal tax that is collected, that it goes to your schooling.
Well, that's how it works there,
Healthcare.
too. You still have to pay
Well, now their tax goes to healthcare,
federal tax.
federal tax.
You just don't have to pay state tax, right? Isn't that how
Unless
it works?
you work in a state that has state tax, and you pay state tax and federal tax.
Yes, there's the federal income tax and the state tax. Like I was looking at like when Kyrie played for the Brooklyn Nets, they were breaking down how much of his $50 million salary he would end up with because he lives in New York State, and it was like $19 million or something.
And does he get a park? Like usually you donate that.
So why does anybody play in those states that have?
We don't have a
really high
choice where
taxes?
you. I mean, listen.
I mean, you can say I don't want to play in those places.
Yeah, sure.
I demand a trade.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
I can't perform on the court because I know I'm losing 3/4 of my
Simon,
salary to your stupid taxes.
I actually have an answer for that. It really doesn't matter because
because they just pay you more.
no, because if you play a game in New York State, you pay the income tax in that state for that game.
Oh, really? So
Income
everybody's
tax.
in the same boat.
Well, it's in, you're
anyways.
making in. Yeah, you get the NBA pays you a weekly salary.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about you at a casino winning and getting taxed like that. In any event,
In any event,
You get taxed on winnings in the States. You know that, right?
yes, he does.
you get taxed on winning the state, and that's where the money comes from to build the roads and for social services.
That's right.
Less
You got
social
it.
services than we have here.
Except I don't think Texas has legal gambling or legal weed. And where are they getting their monies from?
Well, why don't you Google it? You have the world's most powerful phone in front of you. Figure-
Cattle?
Is it interesting that the party,
Oil, maybe.
the party that
Sorry, one sec, Kamar, because that's how Calgary does it, right? Like Calgary has very low tax
resources?
because
I
they
think you mean
have.
Alberta.
They got that oil.
Calgary's a city.
They got that black gold.
Sorry.
If we're doing an analogy,
I meant Alberta. Thank you, Kamar.
you're welcome, son.
Yeah,
That black gold,
now we
baby.
can go on.
No, that's a good question. I'm very interested. I mean, this is what I asked last week. Like, how does a
regular
country
check.
make money if you don't tax anyone, right? That was my question. We decided it was bonds.
Go on, Kamar.
I mean, find out what
checking.
first ask what state has the lowest taxes, and then find out what the poorest state is, and let's see if there's any correlation.
What the interesting thing was about abortion, or if you it's illegal to gamble in one state, but you can go to another state and gamble.
Yeah.
Then it should be just a logical continuity that you can go to another state, get abortion, and come back and not get punished for something you did out of state. They should just have it's a no brainer.
So this says when a state doesn't impose income taxes, it often imposes other taxes to pay for education, roads, healthcare, and other public services. In some cases, states will impose higher sales taxes or higher property taxes on a person's home value.
There you go. So that's your answer. So it's they're just taxing you in another way. Is that the answer?
Yeah. So Texas relies on high sales and use taxes.
Okay.
Texas gets 45.2% of its revenue from property taxes. That puts it in the top 5 states in terms of percentage. terms
Property
on
tax. That
revenue.
sounds like state tax.
Anyways.
That's what I'm saying. They're just taxing you in a different way.
A rose by any other name is still
Well, no,
money
but then-
you have to give to the government and hope they spend it right.
I mean, listen, in that case, you could argue, though.
It's getting directly to where it needs to go.
Well, no, you could also argue that, like, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and I make minimum wage. I'm living check to check. I'm not paying that much because I don't use as much. Whereas you, the homeowner, you're paying the brunt of it. You own a home and therefore
That
you're probably
makes sense.
using more. Like, I don't know. I guess I like that a little bit.
That makes sense. Okay,
But
come
like,
on.
I think what we've gotten to though is that without taxing in some way, you can't build roads, pay for education.
No,
like, you know what I mean?
there
there's-
has to be money.
You got to pay the piper at some point.
Well, and the other thing that they mentioned that the left is protested out because those who protested Trump 8 years ago, which is crazy that he won the presidency 8 years ago, have been out protesting for Gaza, and so there's no one protesting MSG like we once saw in the past.
And what about all the people protesting for Ukraine?
Mother exhausted. Do you guys remember any
Throw
of
that
the,
out and come on, knock it off.
They're exhausted.
do you remember any of the WTO protests?
Yeah.
There was one in Toronto.
The World Trade,
There was one- or
Organization, yeah.
whatever it was. Whatever
Yeah,
it
in
was.
Toronto, it was like there was a riot.
B12, the
They had
G8s
to call
or
in
whatever.
the horses.
And
So they did that here too. There was a G12
G7.
summit here, and or was it G7? Yeah, whatever it was in
it was
Ottawa,
7.
and there was tear gas
I
and
don't
shit.
think they added another
It all happened in a day.
5 countries after that.
So could you guys argue that X is not the number one news source in the world?
Could I argue that
Is
X,
it is the number 1 news in the world? X.
That's what Dave.
Owned
Joe
by the mega billionaire.
I don't know. Is it?
Leon Musk.
Oh, Leon Musk.
The other thing that this signifies, our guy winning, as you say, Simon, is that cancellation. It's lost.
Over. Well, that was the other thing he said in this big speech I saw.
Is that cancellations
They were
over?
going to go after the people who wrongfully canceled
For
other
all
people.
the people, and I remember on Facebook a lot of comedians were, sandbagging on Tony after the Puerto Rico comment, like you two ladies, and
Oh yeah.
Wait, what did I didn't rack. I
don't know.
Like who did I see who was just went hard on him?
Puff Daddy.
No, it was a woman comedian, I think, who's
Checks out. Sounds about right.
who was that? Anyways. But yeah, they went hard just saying what a piece of shit he was.
So there was that potential that Kamala wins and then Tony's blamed for it.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. He's now a god.
He is
He went into
even
MSG,
more- yeah.
told Puerto Ricans they're garbage, and they still voted for him.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe said it. Like most Hispanic people I know have a great sense of humor. So if the joke hits, the
No,
joke hits.
I'm sure the liberals made it way worse than it was.
Because they have nothing.
This is the thing. If the
Again,
liberals,
you should have just give them no fodder.
here's the thing: if the liberals say nothing, it actually makes you look more racist. Because like he's a comedian making a joke, and if you, the liberal media, go out and are like, "Look, he thinks you're garbage." You
Well,
people
no,
are gar-.
he's joking.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. That's the point I'm making.
It's the biggest thing when people say even edgy stuff. and people are offended. And we know it's in the context of trying to be funny. Emphasis on trying.
Trying, yes, agreed.
You can make gunpowder from pissing into the ground.
Yeah, I do.
Is that the most MacGyver $1,600, 1600s shit you've ever heard of?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that
Let's-
true?
let's go
You
back
just
and make
piss
some
in the
gunpowder.
ground and it becomes gunpowder?
I thought that was the most enlightening thing about this Victor lap that we learned. And also that everything is going to end up, like we said, Ukraine war is going to end because fighting is going to stop and they're going to be right back to where they started at the beginning.
Yeah, he met with, what's his name, right away, eh?
And what
Netanyahu.
No.
Zelensky.
Oh, Zelensky.
And the thing that you mentioned is the conservatives have traditionally always shorted our NATO payments as well. You know, that 2% or whatever it is. And that's where the rubber will meet the road with us and Trump.
Have you noticed that Zelensky is always wearing jeans?
Stop. What are you doing, my fucking Kamara 2020 material?
I am a man of the people. Look at my denim.
No suit. The war is on. There's no time for suits or anything dignified.
He's just always wearing. I think he has a deal with
he has no-
Levi's. He's sponsored by Levi's.
He has no time for cutlery either.
Have you seen the shirt I'm wearing? Americans call it the wife beater.
Our attitudes toward prisoners is pretty inhumane.
Depends. What's your attitude towards prisoners?
You know what they're going to do with like a guy like you in prison, eh?
You're referring to Guantanamo Bay?
Or if you were to just the justice system critically, like
Yeah.
if someone could frame you and put you in prison and then you die of ass raping or something.
That's how a lot of people die in
A
prison.
23-year-old was just beaten.
Ass raped, which leads to infection.
A 23-year-old was just beaten in Millhaven
Jesus.
penitentiary like 3 days ago.
Yikes.
Who was in there for 4 years for some sort of petty robbery thing. But 4 years sounds like a lot of robbery. Any event. Prisoner rape. Joe's told some wild stuff about sexual assaults in Afghanistan. I'm not even going to credit that if you want to listen to it.
Who told what?
So end the war, fix the border, stimulate the comedy. Comedy and the economy. If Trump does
Stimulate the
that in
comedy.
the next 4 years, he will be one of the most successful presidents of our time.
If he stimulates the economy,
What kind
the comedy
what,
rather.
What
Yeah.
kind of weird world are we living in? I give this one a 4.
Yeah, who would have thought that Donald Trump would be the best option?
Oh, that's what I
That's
wanted to.
crazy, eh?
Superstar. Who? The Rock? Did we even get like? There's
said
no
The
one
Rock. I
in
said
the
The Rock,
political realm that
It doesn't have to be political.
Hareem
realm.
Jeffries or Nancy Pelosi. You
No,
don't
no,
even know
no,
who
no,
these people
no.
are.
They need.
AOC.
She's
AOC
she's
sister.
Still, no, she's
Come on,
still
girlfriend.
a politician.
Come on, girlfriend.
Dude, that's just running Kamala again. They can't
Yeah.
do that. They need a fucking superstar.
Mike Obama.
Somebody who is famous before running for office. Who is that person, Kamar? I don't know.
Glenn
You know
Close.
who could have been that person who actually
Glenn
crossed the
Close.
lines
Glenn
between
Close.
politics and stardom?
Go on.
That is Michelle Obama.
The floor is yours.
That would have been the only person
Big
they
Mike?
could have run, but that's what they were worried about. When they start digging through those skeletons,
Yeah, then what?
they don't know what bones they're going to find. Ayo!
Rover took over.
That is a great joke.
It's only ruined that you mentioned something.
You should be writing that
The
down.
listener will be laughing in 2 days from now at that.
Yeah, they'll have to catch up.
I laughed out loud when Jamie described it as a pond of pee underneath
They'll have
your
the
house.
Heinz ketchup.
That they were tossing.
Comedy.
Comedy. Isn't it frustrating getting cut off by a subpar joke, Kamar? It's really frustrating, huh?
Go. He's not used to getting cut off by real material.
And an audience that loves the material. Being you.
Ayo.
You're the show and the audience is what I'm trying to say.
We know nobody's
With
listening.
less words.
Is that it for Dave? You rated it?
Oh, just this idea of normally you pick a vice president, except for Dick Cheney and George Bush with Reagan. Normally the president would pick a vice president that makes them look better.
Yeah, like
Like Joko or whatever.
like Joe being like, you shouldn't have a shitty opener.
Exactly.
Or Jamie. Yeah, no, that actually, that's a better. I was going to say Brian, but
No, I meant like when he goes on
you
tour.
think JD Vance is too polished for Trump and he's going to make him look bad?
I think he's just the right amount of polish.
You know what?
And we can say that because we listen to him and we know the man now.
Again, I implore everybody to watch Veep. If you want to know how much power a VP really has,
That's our second imploration for the day.
watch that show.
Yeah,
Join the Patreon.
Watch the
Well, it actually takes both implorings and turns them into one, because if you are to watch Veep, you'll end up at that episode in Google.
you'll get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I give it a 4.
I give it a 3. I mean, I like Dave. The problem again, it's just the
The victory lap?
the rotating door has gotten much smaller.
Yeah. And Dave used to come on and we'd find out like information about what was going on in wars and places. That's what we like him for, not just to come on and gloat.
Well, I think I'll speak for everyone here that we hope that this week was getting it out of the system as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, what was weird too is like
I'll give it a 3.
Dave's guy got in and he seemed more angry than ever.
No, he just was a couple key points that he said he already didn't do the first time around.
Yeah, but my point remains, like Trump got in and instead of him being like, you would have, me thinking back in retrospect, you would have thought he would have been more like, hope, but instead he seemed more angry.
If Trump does not do a bunch of stuff, then Dave is in a position
I
where he
think-
has to hold his feet to the fire.
I think he said it, Matt. He said, us libertarians, we gave our vote to Donald Trump under the assumption that he was going to do the right thing. Now he has to do the right thing. Otherwise, we should have just voted for our libertarian guy. So
well put.
like Kamar was trying to say, and I so eloquently did, that showbiz, baby.
I give it a 3.
I give it a 3 also.
Okay.
What did you give it, Kay?
A 4.
Oh, well.
Last one, Theo Vaughn.
22-26, Theo Vaughn.
This was just really the best episode of the week, only because of how weird and awkward it was. What did you say, Matt? That
He said the thing you're not supposed to
what
say.
was that?
Well, he was like, the Jews that control the media, and Joe was like, whoa, 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 and Theo was like, oh, what? That's what my Jewish friends tell me. Dude, I was like,
Oh, I didn't.
There is some
I didn't
conspiracy about
double on
that.
I love Theo. I really like him. I always like when he's on Rogan.
yeah,
I feel like this is just proof that comedians take this show for granted. JRE, the biggest podcast in the world that can make or break people, and you go on and you're just not feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, get it together, man.
wow, Theo seemed like he was on point. I think he was just,
No, he was so weird. He was
I disagree.
No, it's every time Joe said
he was
something.
having like a panic, anxiety attack.
yeah,
or
no,
something.
he's having a rough time.
yeah, he was having a rough
Do you
time.
like big guys that give a pass because you think they're going to soon die?
Say that again?
Can you
Do you like big
elaborate?
guys? Holy fuck! More than other people because you think they don't have long on this planet.
Like giant people
Fat
or
people.
popular
Fat
people?
Fat people.
Fat people. No, I don't like them any more or less
You're a
because they're
monster.
gonna die.
You're a
Yeah, I've never
monster.
thought of it. I've never been like, oh, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
See a big, except for maybe Santa Claus.
Oh, what? You let him in your house because you're like, he'll die soon.
No,
He's got to
but
clear.
like you're probably worried about his health.
Then why do you leave him milk and cookies?
That is weird.
Leave
eh?
him some kale
You're
salad.
just trying to kill him.
Yeah. They talked about Joe's love of the car, the Chevelle.
yeah.
And that this one guy had it. And in the story, he thought it was so cool that the car ran out of gas. So the guy could barely afford the car and gas in the 70s or whenever he was 6 years old, or 16, no, maybe he was the early 80s. But that doesn't register. Like, this guy wasn't killing it if he was running out of gas.
Yeah, I get it.
He blew all his money on the Chevelle. We get it.
Okay, I got to get around to this.
That was his inside thing. Like, how am I
gotta
going to
get-
get around?
At
I
one
gotta get
point,
around
they were
this.
talking about the guy that killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
And he had gone to jail and all this stuff. And at one point, he said he moved to Mexico and tried to establish himself as a porn director.
That really is the bottom rung, isn't it?
No, I want to reinvent myself. I want credibility. I want people to take myself seriously. So I'm going to get into adult films.
In Mexico.
Before he went on to allegedly assassinate, rest in peace, Martin Luther King.
Martha Luther.
Martha Luther King.
Have you guys seen?
Leon Musk and Martha Luther King.
Have you guys seen Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make it, how much it made at the box office. Do you guys remember being introduced to a young Heather Graham
Yeah.
in Boogie Nights?
Starring Marcy Mark Wahlberg.
Go on. And how much Mark Wahlberg's mother hated that he had a schlong, was banging his girlfriend all day in his bathroom when he washed dishes at night.
He wore a prosthetic penis
Then you know what Boogie Nights is all about.
for that one scene.
Directed by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, I didn't know
PTA.
that.
You didn't know that, really?
Paul Thomas Anderson. What else has he directed?
Magnolia.
Go on. Matt?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Can you not see the wheels turning? I'm literally sitting here going, I
Because
should know
you
this.
say Paul Thomas Anderson, and I right away thought of Wes Anderson.
Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love, There Will Be Blood.
Punch Drunk Love.
There
There
Will
was
Be
blood.
Blood.
Yeah.
Inherent Vice,
Yeah.
Phantom
Thank you.
Thread,
Come on.
Licorice
Way to get
Pizza.
on that. Licorice Pizza, one of
Hard
my
Eight.
all-time favorites. I don't even know what that movie is.
You have a year yet, Simon?
Oh, we're supposed to be working.
Starring Mark Wahlberg, Julianne Moore, Burt Reynolds, Don Cheadle, John C. Reilly, William H. Macy. His character is one of the funniest. Heather Graham, Nicole Parker, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Dress in Power. Burt Reynolds hated this movie.
Really?
Yep.
Dude, the scene where the guy's throwing firecrackers. The fucking
And the
when they're
music
there,
is
right,
just chaos,
Fucking
drug-induced
hilarious.
chaos, and yeah, a great movie about a porn directors. Okay,
Okay, I'm ready.
What year do you have?
1998.
Yeah. I have 2001. I think you're closer.
You are way closer, Simon. It's 1997. Wow. Do you know where it was released? Just as a little side trivia.
Where?
The Toronto International Film Festival.
Interesting.
Wow.
Tiff. Very
right.
interesting.
So I said it cost 28 million, and it made 256.
I said it cost 25 and it made 170.
Yeah, guys. We're I don't know how to tell you this, but the budget is $15 million.
15 or 50?
1.5.
Well, I was only 10 off.
Yeah, it wasn't
Still
that
in
far.
there.
I said
Box
28.
office, 43.1 million.
Wow.
4-3? 4-3.
Restricted
Cult
film in
cult
the
classic.
theaters.
Oh, restricted film.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's
doubled
right.
its money, but still
right.
not what movies are hoping for when they.
No.
Hey, man, shut the door. That's my wife. Yeah, Larry, shut the door. Idiot. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
no, that was a crazy movie. Yeah, Heather Graham as Roller Girl. Jesus,
I don't ever
Christ.
take off my skates.
Fueled my dreams.
This is for the $198,000.
No way.
That's the movie game.
Whoa, whoa. You might do it, man.
No, of course we won't.
Stop it. We're doing it. It's my year.
198,000.
It's not going to happen. I'm freezing always, Kamar. I'm always cold. Let me hold.
Theo Vaughn wants a wife. Do you believe him? Is he just putting it out there? He must have girls throwing themselves at him.
I think he is in like a fucking spiral of despair right now. Theo Vaughn.
That's dark.
Yeah, I think he's in a bad way. And he was begging Joe for some drugs without begging him for drugs, you know? He just wanted to get high.
He wants mass reparations, which is I find strange. He's like, I don't want to send him money to Ukraine and stuff, and I also want to give back the First Nations whatever they
He's
want.
45% Cherokee.
Is that right?
Why.
So he's an Elon
He
Musk.
just wants the money.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
He just wants the money.
I don't think he's any Cherokee, but who knows?
He's part Cherokee. He just wants the money.
Everybody just wants the money.
Is that it, Kamar? You have nothing else for Theo? Or you're just eating Zonix?
No, we were talking about how
No, he's eating gummy bears.
the Maui fire
Yeah.
things just get skipped over. Things that we could.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the beginning of the pandemic? Do you guys remember?
The beginning was people dying in China.
No, right before that.
What was
There
going
was
on?
crazy
Something was happening.
fires in Australia. The
Oh
whole
yeah, fires in Australia.
continent was like on fire.
And wasn't
That's weird. I remember that happening
wasn't George
during.
Floyd right before COVID too, or
No,
was
that was
that
that
during
mid.
COVID? That was
Again,
mid COVID.
just like
think
how
so.
Bert Kreischer thrived because no one had
Bernd
anything else to do.
Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer, yeah. Wow. Are you looking that up there, Matt? I just
Yeah.
was pausing
No,
for
I'm
it.
looking at me not winning $100.
The fire in Australia. I believe that was right before the world's on fire. We got to save it. Then
Insane.
China virus.
Yeah.
But there are people. You know, one thing I thought about is when I planted trees and did spacing, we would live in these big mining camps.
Would you?
There were trailers that you had a little room that was all you needed, and not like a communal bathroom, but separate sort of shower thing you could use.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they don't have those set up, at least for homeless people, in an attempt to just have a roof over your head, and we'll try to process you out here as an actual thing we can fix.
Because that was good enough for you tree planters, but not for normal people.
It's better than sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
Well, everything's better than sleeping on the street. You would think.
No, you're right, Kamar. And what about like shipping containers? Why don't they just
They do.
put people into shipping containers? No, I don't mean to get here. I mean once they're here.
They do. They
Ayo.
make houses out of shipping containers.
I'm on fire today.
It just seems like
On fire today, man.
the old idiosyncratic idea of
Oh, try that again.
trying to help people on
An
other
idiosyncratic
from other lands,
idea.
some other lands, while our land is struggling. And I don't know if you know, but it doesn't make sense how we can look at other country stuff, but East Hastings,
Yeah.
like, tell me what it just. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. This place is just it doesn't make sense, right? And landlords don't want to renovate or. How this thing could be our whole lifetime, and also the fentanyl. Do you hear about the 2 labs that just got busted?
No.
One in Vancouver, or just outside of Vancouver, in a small town, the biggest drug lab ever in Canadian history, and then a fentanyl one in Alberta. Again, in the small, making so much of these really bad drugs that
No
we're talking
way.
about, right under our noses.
That doesn't really surprise me, but
Right under our noses.
But Theo Vaughn represents Americans and was right for Americans.
Does he?
You don't think so? I mean, he without going out of his way, he is very right wing. You don't agree?
I don't know, very right wing.
No.
Morgan Whalen, he's country music. He's,
No,
Yeah, but that doesn't make him
he
right-wing.
has
He-
very
he
like
loves Kid
liberal,
Rock. Like, no, but
tendencies.
of course.
He
but
comes from a sex cult, so
do you think all his friends make fun of him because he's liberal and they're all Kid Rock? Answer the question.
No, he hangs out
Answer
with
the-
bussing with
answer
the
the
boys
question.
and stuff.
And they're all right wing.
Yeah,
but he's
you're
not
right.
overt. He's not shilly about it.
No, he's not.
And he's a calming force.
Yeah,
Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Agreed.
and that's why you can have a guy.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We have an agreement.
That's why he can have a guy like Trump on, and it doesn't come across as like Joe Rogan-y type moment.
Yep.
Comes
Trying
across
hard.
more organic. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah, Theo wasn't trying to win an election.
He recalled that in Game of Thrones is one of the best TV shows ever given to us. And you gotta
take away the last
You gotta
season.
cripple the kid in the first episode.
Yeah.
Something to really. Well, I didn't expect that. to
Well,
happen.
no, I'll tell you. I started watching Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
like when it was on.
Yeah.
And I remember, is it first or second episode?
Sean Bean, when they kill Sean
They
Bean.
kill
It's
Ned
like fourth
Stark,
episode, yeah.
and you're just like, dude, he was the fucking lead character, and they did away with him willy nilly. This is going to be an amazing show, and that's how I've judged other shows since. Like, if they're willing to get rid of a main character for the storyline, not just like Walking Dead, where like let's kill Glenn and then bring him back so we can do a whole bunch of like promotion, and then we'll just kill him again. Yeah, like, fuck off.
And then we'll just kill him again.
So they can do a bunch of like, we're killing somebody this season. You got to see who.
Well put.
Thanks, Kumar.
What happened to the post office? Did they got caught lacking and sleeping?
Such an asshole.
What happened to the post office? What do you mean they got caught?
What do you mean? They're killing it. Think about it. A totally redundant system that strives on and on. Like, you can't kill the post office.
No, it's getting its lunch eaten by UPS, FedEx, Amazon.
They're not.
They were the only game in town.
The post office is a government-run operation. They're still killing it. They do nothing, and they can't be fucking erased.
I think the post office loses money every year. If that's what you consider killing it, then I hope you're successful too.
I bet you Kamar's right. I bet it loses money every year.
I don't think it matters. I think it's one of those
Taxpayers'
things
money
that,
doesn't
like,
matter.
As long as you still see the American Post running, you know everything is okay.
Gotcha.
It's a lost leader for them. And if you guys don't know what a lost leader is, that's when you sell something really cheaply to get people in the door.
I'm talking about the Canadian
Thanks, Simon.
Canada Post, Simon.
You don't even know what you're talking about half of the time, Ben.
Did you not see him drop the mic?
You're so caught up in your fucking Trump derangement syndrome. Or what's the opposite of that?
Infatuation.
Trump inauguration syndrome.
Trump infatuation.
What a fucking dork.
That's like calling me racist because you got nothing, man. Lowest common denominator.
Whatever, goof.
Whatever, goof.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Do you mind finishing a meal while someone else keeps eating?
Do I mind
you
being
mind?
done, you mean?
Do you mind?
I don't mind being done if someone else is still eating. When
Theo does. And he built a hill based on Joe telling the story of two deers who were locked by antlers. And a coyote or a wolf came up and chose one of them and ate it while the other one struggled to get out from the deer. And Theo said, "Oh, I hate finishing my meal first." And then he had to die on that hill of what really mattered, and that was a deal breaker for him and women. Okay, I give this.
You know what I hate? You know what I hate?
Go
I'm going
on.
to tell you a little Piccadilly of Simon, okay?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I hate dinner time rules. And I don't mean like don't put your arms
No
on the
elbows
table.
on the table.
No, I mean the rules of time. Like, we're sitting down for dinner. You have to eat your dinner within this time.
Who does that?
Be it too long or too short. I take all my meals now as an adult when I can decide,
Yeah.
and I eat them in front of the television at my own damn pace. If I want to eat really fast, I do. And if I want to eat really slow, I do. I'm like Theo. I don't want to be stuck at the table watching you eat while I'm done and bored.
At your
Like,
own
what a
leisure.
waste of fucking time.
Yeah, what a waste of time.
Think about how much time you spend on the toilet and at the dinner table, just wasting time.
Just wasting away, yeah.
You could be fucking saving the world.
I wouldn't be.
Like Elon Musk. Kumar never cracks a smile.
No, you're not funny to him.
What I do isn't comedy.
No.
It's,
No, you're like a Tim Dillon.
I think you're too highbrow for Kamar.
That too.
Does that make sense?
yes, yeah.
You're a level
that-
above, right?
That
Highfalutin.
makes sense.
Highfalutin.
Well, he gets some of my jokes later on when he gets home, and he just starts laughing to himself.
Yeah. Jerk store.
Speaking of, have you seen that guy that's supposed to be the smartest man in the world?
He's a bouncer or
He's a
something?
bouncer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, don't
Yeah,
you?
we've all seen that documentary.
No, but you know who Christopher Knowles is?
Biggie Smalls?
Speaking of right-wing pundits,
Biggie Smalls. I don't think so.
I know.
he's another one of those guys, and he interviewed. He just came up 5 days ago. He interviewed this bouncer smart guy, and it's just so weird. Like, okay, he's smart, but he's just normal, and he looks like a plumber or something. You've never heard of him, have you?
Crazy.
Well, he looks sort
I
of
mean,
like you.
smart guys usually
Smartest
look a certain way.
Man in the world, Simon.
I mean, Elon Musk is going to have something to say about that, no?
Well, his hairline is further back.
This guy or
His
Elon?
hairline is further back.
Elon got a hair transplant, so
No shame in the game, man. If I
No,
can afford it,
it's-
I get it done.
I don't think you need it.
Thank you. Okay, man. There's nothing but love for Theo.
Joe,
Thank
I
you.
actually have nanobots that transplant
Yeah,
my
that's
anal
right.
hair onto the top of my head every morning, and I have a very bleached, clean anus and a top hair of greatness.
It's like a baby's buttocks down there.
That's it. Are we rating Theo? We're done.
Wow, you really didn't give Theo.
Yeah, you-
his-
No, actually,
hard.
full
You
disclosure.
fucked Theo
super
over.
hard.
I was going to say this in the post, Joe, but my phone totally deleted itself this week. Notes. And I should listen to some of these podcasts twice. Like I did not need that.
The
this
dog,
week.
the dog ate my homework bit, huh?
My
This fucking-
phone,
what it
my
sounds like.
phone deleted all
Yeah.
of ChatGPT's hard work.
Well, no, and
I had to ask her the question again.
I just want
the
one
prompt.
one day I could think about walking in here and be like, guys, I was really busy. I don't even know if I listened to the episode. I have no notes. And you guys are like, come on, don't worry. We
We
this."
got you.
But that's not going to happen.
You know what we would do?
I really struggled this weekend to get through this shit.
Yeah, I always hope
You
that
would
I
come
always-
in, and in the 20 minutes, we would use ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and we would have your work done.
I always hope that Monday you're going to show up with some newfound editing knowledge and that you're going to be like, you know what, Matt, this week I got it.
You know what, Kamar? I often pull up to your house and hope you're not there.
Can't remember what hasn't happened. I give Theo 4.
Goodwill hunting.
Fucking asshole.
No, what are you talking about? I set that up for him.
Goodwill hunting. This guy's hilarious.
I just did.
I give Theo.
That might be
I
the
give this one a
funniest
2.
thing I have ever said.
I'll give it a 2.5.
I
I
said
love
it.
Theo. This episode, whatever.
Well, Kamar did his notes were garbage. We did a really good job. Give us a 5. I give 3-0. I give
3-0 Vaughn.
Theo a 3.
Yeah.
A 3-0.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in.
All right. Well, that's an episode. You heard it. Thank you so much if you made it this far. That's incredible. We love the hell out of you. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. If you want to support the show, there is, of course, a Patreon where you can support for as little as $5 a month. For that $5, you'll get a bunch of stuff. The Post Joe, which you'll get every week. It's the show we shoot the shit. You'll also get old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show where we went back, listen to old episodes. There's moon debates. We Might Be Garbage, stuff like that. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes wide open.